Rage Knight, have you a nanocam? Record Aya killing the Reaper.
Let me kill him, my sovereign. Let me kill him for my family. 'Tis my right.
You're right. Your family has lost me, Mars. You have no rights.
He'd be a better prisoner. Let me talk to him. He's my student. You would have had him serve you once before, Octavia. Let him recant and do so again. It will show the greatness of your power, that you can forgive even a little piss-eater like this.
My sovereign, I'll gut him like a fish. Aya, hold! I want Fitchner to kill him. Kill your student. Or are you not loyal?
Of course I'm loyal. I've already proven it.
Then prove it again. Bring me his head.
There has to be another way.
He set your son against you. And you know I do not keep things near to me that I cannot trust. So kill him.
Yes, my liege.
Severo lives. He survived the Iron Rain.
Oh, enough of this prattle. I'll kill him myself.
This is it, Carnus. Rise so high, in mud you lie.
Bastard!
Oh, idiots!
Should I keep recording this?
What a thing! Imagine this boy shaped in my house!
You could not shape me.
Bring me his head, Fitchner.
We should film his execution for the HC. Propaganda, full hanging, a state death.
Fitchner! Enough! I want him gone, no more variables. Now! Save the head for a pike. We'll film that. Keep the head! But you can cast the body to the soil in the Martian wave!
Uncle Narrow.
No, it's Finchner, Boyle.
Oh, I'm glad it's you. Tell Mustang, Leo, I love them.
You bloody damn fool. They had it under control.
I didn't... What?
It's me. It's always been me, Boyle. I'm Ares.
Fitchner, what are you doing? Get down! Get down!
Stop him! Stop him! What is he doing?
Adjustments to dilithium crystal chamber complete.
Pre-recorded in a second-floor guest room filled with tall ales and taller tales. Join a group of grown men intent on discussing the intricacies of fantasy and science fiction. Tim Gilbert Media presents...
Dungeons and Dweebs! Shot it right to the backside.
Hello, all my sons, my daughters. Now that you bleed, you shall know no fear. No defeat, only our erratic ramblings. This is the Dungeons and Dweebs podcast, episode 10, Golden Sun, part 2. I'm your host, Bob. Most call me Bronzy, my students call me Proctor, some call me Rage Knight, and our sovereign calls me a traitor. But hi, I'm Finchner. This is my brother Nerl, and this is my other brother Nerl, Lazarus Rage Diver the Eighth. But I'm not alone. Across the table from me, if your heart beats like a drum and your legs a little wet, you're probably under the influence of this man's obsidian-sized Kavorka.
Oh,
Luke.
Wow. Okay. Man, you always just leave me so flustered after all this. Hey, we're here. We're gonna finish out book 2 of the Red Rising trilogy by Pierce Brown.
Yeah.
But hey, let's not spend too much time on these over-the-top intros. Wink. To my left, He's been known to get his milk from a four-breasted thing that lives by the lake. I don't know, it's Klab.
'Twas the night after solstice when all through the colony not a creature was stirring, not even an Orlani. The stockings were hung by the replicator with care in hopes that quite possibly Q would soon be there. Happy solstice, my lovelies. It's now astronomical winter,
so good.
and your old Uncle Klab has set up his Yule altar. Mercury has left retrograde. The days are finally getting longer, and the boys of winter continue their annual quest for that mythical Lord Stanley's cup.
And the hockey reference.
Across the table from me, he's too young to remember when the Wonder Twins were part of the Super Friends. He's the elf who always wanted to be a dentist. Neil, how are you, my friend?
All I can think of for some reason is the stupid Justified episode with the dentist. You remember that one?
Oh, yeah. But
Yeah,
no, that was a
great moment in the
Rudolph
very
the
first
Red-Nosed Reindeer reference.
That was. That's pretty good, though. But that was a nice reference there.
Yes.
Yeah, hey, welcome back. Today I hope to somehow reassert my domination of being the better fan of Star Wars and Alien today and sneak in more references than Bob.
What? Oh, man. Challenge
The
accepted.
gauntlet is down.
Oh,
But, yeah, like I said, let's get into this here.
yeah, we are here for part 2 of Golden Sun.
Well, our part 2 episode. We're actually on part 3 of the book.
Yeah, part 3 of the book. Conquer.
Previously on Golden Sun. They were running away from Luna after
After the dinner party.
After the dinner party.
The murder mystery party?
murder-
That wasn't really a mystery. They know who did it.
But boy, there is going to be a lot to talk about in this second part. So I feel like before we do, we should probably step over to the bar and grab ourselves a few drinks.
Oh, good. I need to check the score anyways. I got this one, you guys.
Hey, we don't serve there.
Do you have any blue milk?
But what am I supposed to find in it? Oh my goodness. It's bigger on the inside.
I want to go to Kashi Station and pick up some power converters.
Okay, it's not a detonator, it's just a jammy dodger.
What'll it be, boys?
Tavern Talk.
All right, well, our stockings are hung by the chimney with care. We're cozy by the fire. I'm just hoping somebody brings your balding host some nair.
Same.
Same thing.
I don't understand.
Well, nair would remove hair.
Yeah.
I was really confused by what you guys are going
It
for.
rhymed.
It rhymed in the...
Don't bring me there. I
I'm on
don't.
the fly right now.
But I've already lost enough hair.
But hey, here we are, Yuletide. What is on your nerd radar this Yuletide season?
Well, it's December. You know what that means these days? New Star Wars movie.
New Star Wars movie. Hey, we got to bring
Exactly.
up. We had done a very quick episode, and I don't know by quick. We thought it was going to be very quick.
Yeah,
it
but,
still ended up being an hour and
we have a
like
problem.
15. We have an issue. And I'll apologize right up the front for having kind of really bad quality audio on that one.
USB Logitech microphone in Klab's cave.
Yeah. So
Whoa.
yeah, the audio's not the greatest on there, but we wanted to kind of have a kind of a rough live feel.
Yeah, we wanted to be more in the moment. We wanted
Right.
to be able to go 15 minutes from the theater, record our thoughts right away as we were still as we still had them because a couple of us are old.
Right.
And doing that rather than drive the hour back to the studio.
Right. And a little, behind the scenes stuff. It sounds all right when it's in GarageBand.
Yeah.
And then once it gets dumped down a few times and pushed up through Podbean, it comes out the other end of that garbage chute.
Trash compactors.
Sounding even worse than it already did. So
Dang you, Podbean, and your reasonably priced unlimited download plan. And we talked about that enough in that other episode. No spoilers here.
No spoilers here. We're going to keep a spoiler-free or thoughts again on Star Wars.
I still loved it. Another thing on my nerd radar, real quick, it's not out yet. The second season of Travelers I saw is coming out pretty soon. That's something I talked about on maybe one of our first Tavern Talks.
Really?
So I'm excited about that, but that's about it. Klab, Neil, Bob.
Really, it's just been Star Wars month, and one of my, like we've talked about here too. We went to it last week. I'm super looking forward to bringing my 10-year-old to it here in the week coming up here, just so I can watch it through his eyes, because that's one of the most fun things for Star Wars with me is it's something that I could be a 10-year-old and sit next to my 10-year-old son, and we can do that.
Yeah, and I feel that.
And the new toys are cool. There's a bunch of new toys that I'm looking at right now
that you're definitely going to buy.
That I'm definitely going to buy
for your
my son.
And this is what I love is this is the time of year you can do that. Being a toy collector, there's always the shame all other times of the year.
You don't have that shame.
And when no, I don't. But the like you'll go through the checkout line and they'll be like, "Would you like a gift receipt for this?" And you'll be like, yes.
You throw it away right away.
She gives you that look like, no, I'm pretty sure you're buying this for you.
You were in here last week and you picked up 3 more of these.
Wearing a Marvel shirt, buying Marvel action figures. No, this is for my nephew, Jace.
His nephew's got a different name every time he comes through.
You've got a lot of nephews. I'm a real good uncle. But no, yeah, I totally agree that this is Star Wars is something that should be seen with kids. Because I remember being in college when the prequels came out and kind of like a lot of fanboys not loving them, but watching them with my daughter is a totally different experience. I mean, she's laughing at everything that I hated. And it's
he stepped in poo.
Yeah. And loving Jar Jar.
Oh, he's so funny.
Yeah, it tends to soften you. And you kind of you're like, okay, I can live with some of this stuff. I get it.
One of the things I did notice, one of the things I'll bring up here, again, this is not Marvel Cast, but
it can
be the Disney acquisition of Sony properties is going to be
finally.
A big thing for the future
Fox
of the
properties.
MCU. I'm sorry, Fox Properties. You're right. Fox
I had to make a few changes there.
Yeah.
It has to go through a review process still, but
correct.
It's basically official.
But that's going to be a big thing
Mutants are
for the
coming
future
home.
of the MCU coming up.
Let's talk about what are your feelings on this? Because I am a mixed feelings on this.
As a nerd, excited.
Yes.
As a citizen of the United States,
concerned.
A little bit, yeah.
That's how I am too.
Man, that's one heck of a superpower Disney has become.
There's no business laws in the United States anymore.
Apparently.
The nerd in me loves the fact that we can see some X-Men, involved in everything else. But very concerning to me.
Hugh Jackman will be back for just one more film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because Disney will suck money from every orifice to throw at him to do that.
Jeez.
Well, after this Greatest Showman bomb, you may want to go back to his original.
To what works.
Well, I'm just wondering how they're going to do some of the things that Fox is already in production right now. Like TV show Gifted, for example. It's actually pretty decent in my mind.
Is it? I haven't watched any
I've
of
watched
it.
almost all of them right now, and
That's
I
X-Men,
like
right?
it. I enjoy it.
Yes.
It's an X-Men one,
Okay.
but the X-Men are never really mentioned.
Right.
But what's going to happen to that?
I don't know.
Well, the new Mutants movie comes out.
That's
here
still
this
going to
year.
come out, yes.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I know when Disney took over Lucasfilm, there was still more Clone Wars cartoon that was supposed to come out. That instantly got axed. I mean, it feels like they made a clean break, but I feel that might be different.
And then Legion also is another one that was on
I really
FX.
wanted to see that. I
That's
just never...
another idea there. It was very well reviewed and all that. Is that going to disappear because...
I kind of think it will. And just because that's what Disney did with Star Wars, and I think you can almost parallel the two, that Star Wars was seen as maybe a languishing brand in some ways, right? I mean, like, the Clone Wars was good, but at the same time, it's kind of a weird, blocky kids cartoon.
With weird
As it was
adult
supposed to be.
themes that
With
come in
weird,
every now
yeah,
and
I mean,
then.
it was an up and down cartoon. So I think Disney was like, we're going to make a clean break, and I feel that's how almost Fox has been treating X-Men and everything else. There's good stuff, some of it maybe not as great, and I think Disney's just gonna axe it all and start fresh.
Well, and I'll bring up one more thing here too, just to jump over for some of our folks online who've been upset that we bash DC constantly. I did see Justice League.
Yeah. Oh, thoughts.
Okay. I wasn't as disappointing as I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
That's kind of my review. There were very good parts. The dude who plays the Flash is really good. What I will argue is that he should be Wally. He shouldn't be Barry. His character was closer to Wally as the Flash instead of Barry Allen as the Flash.
Okay.
His characterization. I felt better about Batfleck.
Really?
Batfleck actually came around for me a lot in this movie. Gal Gadot is awesome anytime.
Right.
She again is the shining light in this movie. And then Surfer Dude Aquaman.
Surfer Bro.
Surfer Bro. Aquaman worked like 75% of the time, and then it just felt like you were giving him shoehorn bro lines.
The moment he threw a glass bottle into the ocean, that kind of concerned me a little bit.
Yeah, isn't he supposed to be protecting the ocean?
Yeah.
Yep. And I chug my bottle of whiskey, throw it in. Oh wait, I'm not.
He'll have a
do
fish
that.
clean it up later.
And there are a couple good few hammy lines. However, again, the issue I had was with the villain, and Steppenwolf never really felt real. It was a little, for some reason, Marvel's doing very, very well at their combination of CGI and live action on screen and in the picture itself.
Yeah.
For whatever reason it is right now, I feel DC has this. You can tell.
Yeah.
You can just. I mean, it's just very. It's very. Yeah, he's fighting a CGI monster.
A lot of people have been pointing that out. I've heard about that movie. Is that it almost feels like stuff wasn't finished or something. I don't know if the studio got nervous and kind of pulled some plugs.
And will I watch it again? Probably.
Really? I'm gonna have to check this out.
I would probably sit down and watch it again. Is it going to be something like Guardians or Thor or any of these that I watched 500 times? Right. No, but I would watch it again.
Right. Well, that's interesting because usually a lot of these kind of movies, if they're not big on my radar, I wait till they come out on Blu-ray or something.
And like I said, the individual performances by the actors were good.
And that brings up, it was something I did want to talk about, totally forgot. Thank you. That Justice League's, this is from IGN, I read this probably a couple weeks ago, Justice League's poor box office performance has led them to totally restructure who's running their movies, which I'm really excited about because that is what I said was, I'm not going to go see these movies because they're just churning out garbage in my eyes. But so it's exciting for me. I will go see another one now that I know that. They're just going to go in a different direction. That they're going to actually maybe take their time and actually finish the CGI.
Yeah, which they need to do. I mean, again,
by all means, take all this money, DC and Universal. Take all this money that you've been pumping into trying to do the Dark Universe stuff. Scrap all the Dark Universe stuff with the whole thing where they're trying to bring Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and the Mummy and Frankenstein. Scrap all of that stuff that you're trying to do.
What? They did scrap that already.
Because the Mummy is crap.
Okay,
because of how bad the Mummy was, they scrapped it already.
Yeah, Tom Cruise's Mummy that came out last year.
That was supposed to feed in.
That was supposed to feed into the DC Dark Universe.
Really?
Yeah,
I had no idea. No. That was two separate universes.
No, but it's still a DC brand.
So now
that Mummy movie was DC.
No, it's still it's the Dark Universe. It's DC has done a bunch of comics that deal with taking the old classic stories, the Mummy, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and stuff like that.
I thought it was just a weird reboot of that movie.
I agree, and you know what I would say. Again, I can't believe sometimes that people are sitting in towers with. Making these decisions.
The Ivory Tower.
The Ivory Tower is looking at this because I'm going, okay, the Mummy, that movie, the reason I saw those trailers for that, I'm like, this looks awful. It didn't look like a mummy movie. I mean, how can you make a movie about mummies? It didn't feel Egyptian, like just from the trailers. I'm like, this.
Well, they were in London.
A mummy movie? What? It looked just awful. It didn't have any kind of the feel or the flair or anything. So.
Now, the other part here, where Klab is talking about this Justice League Dark, that involves Swamp Thing, John Constantine, all these other ones. Whereas the Universal, who is separate from Warner Bros.,
they're just redoing the Universal.
They're redoing their monster movie. That was going to be their Dark Universe. Then there was Justice League Dark.
You're sorry because I got, and you're right.
No,
you're right. I got confused between the Universal Studio.
Yes.
And Dark Universe.
And that it's. Are these shared universes?
Can we cut that?
Universes?
No.
Universes. All these shared universes, once one thing happened, now that's the trend towards everything. Mm-hmm. And pretty soon it'll be away from all that, I hope, personally. I like it.
Or get Christopher Nolan back.
Once it ends, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, we still have a ways to go through this book.
Yeah, but I've got one other thing I want to say. That is, and a little bit of feedback as well.
That's right, Bob. You've been hitting the Facebook pretty hard.
Hitting the Facebooks hard. Before we get to that, there's two things that I want to throw out there because for our Red Rising kind of listeners.
Yes.
Now, first of all, watch the movie Elysium with Matt Damon movie, kind of a little ways in the future. All the rich live on this giant wheel in space, and the rest of the world is foundering. But as I'm watching this, there's a point where the main character, Matt Damon, literally to me got carved. Like, I'm watching this and I'm like, this feels in some ways like Red Rising, where you have
when did that come out?
Kind of this work 2 years ago.
Man, was it? I was gonna say I don't remember this at all.
And I'll tell you why you don't remember it is because I think it was pretty decent all the way up to when he finally makes it to that wheel in the sky. Boy, does it fall apart there.
The wheel in the sky does not keep turning.
2013.
2013.
Oh, wow,
okay, so that was a while ago.
Almost 5.
But yeah, it derails. But I wouldn't recommend the movie. Visually it looks really good. At least the first half.
It's a rental.
Yeah, it's the guy who did District 9, I think.
It has a very District 9.
It has a very
feel
District 9 feel. Okay. But yeah, boy, it really falls apart for me anyway. When it gets to the station, none of the plot works. But yeah, and then the second thing, Star Wars, back to Star Wars, throwing it out there for Red Rising fans, those Praetorian guards.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Are using razors. A couple of them have razors. The guy has a whip, like a whip razor kind of thing. And it was kind of funny because Pierce Brown, I think, kind of tweeted out a thing about how he thought
Last Jedi was worse than Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith, and I kind of maybe poked him a little bit by saying, like, you're just mad because they're using razors. But I don't. We're getting some feedback though. We posted some Christmas stuff on Facebook, and people are responding really well, especially in the Dragon. It was for Dragonlance fans, our old Dragonlance fans, and so I just wanted to give a shout out to Phil. Phil, he's with us with Red Rising. He says, thanks again for the pod, guys. If it wasn't for your podcast, I would never have known about Red Rising. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't see that comment. That makes me feel kind of good.
Yeah. It was pretty good. I did ask him, I thought, hey, what do you think about him? But he hasn't said. But he also wished us all a Merry Christmas, So that I thought that was kind of nice.
Hey, Merry Christmas too.
So Merry Christmas.
What's the Frost Cult?
The Frost Cult, yeah.
Yes,
I doctored up all kinds of weird old posters. I thought they were pretty funny.
Yeah.
Magical Buffoons Frost Cult Vacation. So
cool.
And by all means, to all our listeners out there, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, whichever you prefer.
Festivus
for the rest of us.
Winter solstice.
Winter solstice. If you're out dancing, waiting for the days to become longer.
I am.
By all means, thanks. And again, thanks for coming with us on this ride.
Yeah.
Are we done now? Can
we
get into the book,
please? We can get into the book.
Please get into the book.
Let's get into the book.
Okay.
All right, Youngblood, this is your buy.
You said you had it already.
I bought the ones coming to the fire.
3 times, 6 times. 3 out of 6. Hate being a math teacher.
Tashi Station?
I'm a leaf on the wind.
My friend got fired from there.
I'm a leaf.
Waiting around for that Skywalker kid to come pick up their power convoys.
We got downloads into an systems.
Aye, pull up a chair, friend.
E.T. phone home.
Here we go. The last half of Golden Sun, Book 2 of the Red Rising trilogy.
Woo.
Let's dive into this.
So we're in Book 3 now.
No. This is not Dragonlance. We are in Book 2, Part 3.
Part
3 of Book 2.
Part 3 of Book 2.
Or Chapter 25.
Or Chapter 25. Praetors.
So much nicer. The Praetors. Yeah. So we have a little bit of a time jump here. When we break between Part 2 and Part 3, it skips forward a month or so.
1 month.
Yep. Yeah, 1 month. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and there's been a lot of fighting that's been going on, and there's kind of, the usual discussions about should we flee, should we stand up to House Belena and the Sovereign and all of this. And basically we kind of end, I'm jumping to the end and we'll go back and see whatever we think. But they decide that they're going to head out to Ganymede because there's a shipyards there, and Darrow needs those ships to continue this fight.
And I want to point something out here too, that maybe Pierce, maybe you need to talk to Disney. Maybe Pierce Brown, you need to talk to Disney, because rereading my notes here, Here's another part of Last Jedi that why I was wondering why it felt very familiar.
Star Wars.
Is you have the ships that are running away from the chasing ships of the Empire.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right. Need to get to some,
but they're not being tracked through hyperspace.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to go to Ganymede.
Yes.
Because there's a ship that's even better than the past.
Right.
Yeah, the Moonbreaker. Yes. And it's just kind of, it's been a month. It's kind of really, it seems like they're losing this, the beginnings of the Civil War.
Right.
Darrow's side of things, Mars's side of things.
Which I kind of like the way Pierce Brown does this. He will build things to this climax and then kind of show the reality afterwards. Mm-hmm. Where maybe other books or movies would, it's just a continuous straight line to conquering or taking everything over. Yeah, well, no, everything kind of worked out for you. And now there's this weird part where, no, you actually have to fight for what you're trying to establish here. And it's not working out too well.
No.
Yeah.
Well, and if we go to the shipyard here, we have the opportunity to take more than just this dreadnought ship.
Right.
There's more ships.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have a fleet.
Yeah. There's two characters in this one who I really like. Some characterization moments here.
Yeah.
Kovacs, I think we determined was our pronunciation. He reminds me so much from I can't think of the call, Iliad. Reminds me of Ajax in the way that they did the movie Troy. He's all about, nope, I don't care about the plan. I'm just going to go hit something.
And it does
seems
seem
the way with the way that they set him up.
Yeah, and that does seem like to be where
Pierce Brown gets his stuff from.
Exactly.
From this. In fact, I think he
said that's a very good catch.
I'm sure that's where he
with
got
his nice little fox too.
Yes.
I like those
fox.
throwbacks. Yeah.
And the other one who the characterization for her this time is Mustang. And what I think of is all these shows, and I'm going back right now to Game of Thrones Season 2 with Renly Baratheon showing up with a peach. If you want a character to appear cocky and that they have a plan, give them fruit. To go and start eating. And she's coming there with the apple, snap.
Yeah.
Everybody, feet up.
And that entire scene, I heard the guys from Cinema Sins on YouTube going, and the director decided to make this character look like even more of an a-hole, so you're eating an apple.
And I just see Mel Gibson from Lethal Weapon sitting there constantly eating an onion. Didn't he always eat an onion like it was an apple?
There's dog biscuits too.
And dog biscuits, yeah.
But with that...
You're right, you nailed it.
It's
Put something in your mouth.
But the thing is, it's showing it's a different characterization for her compared to what she's been. So what is up? And he's leaning towards the next part of her and Darrow's plan that they have come up with together, but they don't really talk about it until the next couple chapters.
Well, and I don't know if it's so much different, Neil, as back to more of who she was in Red Rising, rather than being the Politico that she's been in this one.
Yeah, right.
More going back to that, okay, she's been playing a part. And now it's really even more reinforcing the fact that she's been playing a part to be, the girl on Cassius's arm, the political woman, and now she's just back to being snotty. I like it.
But what if this is a different part?
But it's intelligent snotty.
Right.
She's not the spoiled rich girl. It's just it's intelligent snotty.
Right. And a lot of these chapters 26, 27, they all kind of fuzz together.
They do. Chapter 26, Puppet Master. Darrow gets called up by the Arch-Governor about how he spoke to the lower colors.
Yeah.
And I think this is cool. Like there are consequences for his actions. Like it's not just you made that grand speech and you won the battle, but what the heck were you saying to them? You don't do that, you're a gold.
Yeah, right.
Crap.
Yeah, almost revealing his hand.
Yeah, you won and it's good, but we don't give the slaves feelings.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So are we just?
We have Pliny here being Pliny. Just kind of the Weasley guy in the background who went, no, we need to run. We need to run away. We need to go to the outer rim because otherwise we're all going to die. We need to go to the outer rim so that we can get off this ship and run away.
Are you going for most Star Wars references this episode right now? We threw the gauntlet down between the two of us, and now you're going to come in and steal it here. God.
And this is the Arch-Governor is telling Darrow that he wants him to go get Lorne.
Lorne Akros,
Lorne Akros, yes, the former Rage Knight.
Right, because he's hanging out.
Rage Knight, the guy who trained Darrow, and basically the Master Jedi and
Master Jedi hiding on the
Pharrell
water.
of Game of Thrones, if you will. He's the trainer.
This is Krabby Luke from Last Jedi who doesn't want to...
Crabby old guy hiding on a water planet on an island.
Milking
Wait a minute. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, on a water
milker.
planet. No wonder Pierce Brown is ticked. He went to see this movie. He's like, this is Golden Sun.
And it's book 2 of a trilogy.
I'd be mad.
Yeah, this final battle should have just taken place on a salt planet. We'd have been okay.
Battle storming a certain place. Oh, sorry.
Anything else in 26? I feel like
No,
that's
I don't think so. We're just
26, 27, 25, they're all really one.
Yeah,
actually, like my
Accelerating
notes for
up.
20. My notes for 27, Jelly Beans. Well, it's not my notes. That's the name of the chapter. It's a short chapter.
I actually have in here. This chapter is short and unnecessary, and this is the chapter 27, Jelly Beans, and this is where I'm going to throw it out, and I'm going to keep referencing back to this. That this book is about 100 pages longer than Red Rising, and I feel those 100 pages.
Yeah,
Yes,
for
yes.
sure.
I feel like almost this third part here, he almost like one of those runner's parachutes to train you. Like I feel like I have a runner's parachute on, and I'm just like, oh, things are really starting to drag. With characterizations that I think there's some good meat in here. Like I'm reading it, and there's some cool character moments that happen, but overall, it feels like it's slogging a little bit.
It was a little too long when we get to Lauren's house.
Yeah, I agree.
It was, okay, I understand. He wants to stay out of the conflict.
And this is
Okay, I understand. He wants to stay out of the conflict. Okay, I get it. Lauren really doesn't want to get
Stop
involved.
beating me over the head with it.
He
Well,
just
and I
wants
feel-
to sit here as an old man and play with his grandkids.
There's a lot of talking on ships too that goes on. There's just a lot of we're on,
And that's
a
why
bunch
they
of
all
a
blend
ship
into one
talk.
chapter.
That's why I'm having trouble even now going back and talking about what happened in each thing because I have notes, but it's all blending into one montage of heads on ships talking.
The only thing from 27 that I think could be taken out, and it could be thrown into another chapter,
Right? Yeah.
is that he talks to Roke for the first time
Yeah.
in
yeah.
what seems like a long time, and he finally...
Right. Which is a big deal.
Yeah, because he's almost his only friend left. I mean, there's Severo, who's somewhere. I really don't know where Severo is right now. Is he actually... He's still on the ship, right?
I think he's just
Yeah,
He's,
I
he's
think
with
so.
him.
I
He's
need
just,
a map of where every character is located right now. And then Mustang, that's about it. And
Right.
he's really distanced himself from Roke entirely.
Right.
And now they finally talk and make some apologies. Which
Right. And this is not really
could
big,
be
but
a good idea.
This is his first round of apologies to Rogue.
First round.
Since we haven't had a complaint department, this will just be my place to air kind of all of mine. The other one that I do have is that Pierce Brown has a weird tendency to like sometimes, and I don't know if it's him, editor, who of all of a sudden there'll be like a chapter and then a weird like 2 or 3 page chapter lit. That is
Chapter light.
Yeah, that is like almost continuing what happened in the chapter. And I'm kind of like, well, why was there a chapter break there? Well, you know, and it'll continue into the next book too.
And, yeah, and it's I do. Aside from when he talks to Lauren, I'll complain about that when we get there.
Yeah.
It feels almost necessary, like not necessary, but it's good that he does it because then it's like all these characters aren't just there.
The pace quickens. It does, in some ways, make me feel like the pace is quicker because it tends to happen after somebody says something that could be seen as a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
You know, and then it'll come into like it. He does love to end on everything as a cliffhanger.
Yeah, Netflix,
which I like.
Netflix cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Well, and we get from this conversation with Roke too. We definitely get the feeling that Roke is pissed at him.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
you try getting a needle stuck in your neck and
I
see
did.
how happy you are.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what?
We really committed to that scene.
right.
But not only is Roke is upset with him, but I think even Roke says in here too that, yeah, I'm upset with you. You're still my friend. We have to rebuild some things, but not now.
And I'm forgetting. Does Darrow ever give an explanation as to why he did what he did?
He lied to him and said, kind of went with Roke's idea of, well, it was to save me, and he keeps it that way.
Because to me,
he does say that to him.
He never corrects him.
He never corrects.
He never corrects Roke when Roke says, "Well, I know you did this to save me, but I would have liked to be by your side."
Lying by him.
Because I kind of feel like Darrow could easily kind of wash over this moment of Roke. I know you're mad at me, but you know, I knew all that was going to happen at that, like, because he ended up picking the fight at the party. He said, I knew I was going in there guns blazing, and I didn't want you a part of it. Like, I was your friend, and I wanted to save you from all that.
Yeah.
But and I don't know why that conversation never happens, because I feel like Rogue kind of goes around with this dislike or, this hurt at Daryl.
Well,
that Daryl could kind of lie and smooth over.
But I don't think that lie would fix it.
No.
Yeah, true.
There still is that. If you're going to war,
yeah.
If you're going to a fight and you're not taking me by your by your side,
right?
I'm insulted.
That's true.
I'm insulted and I'm hurt.
Yeah, but maybe you could play it off as I thought I was going, but it was for me, and I thought I was going to die. It's like I'm going to this fight to die, and I didn't want you to die.
Still, you're supposed to be my best friend.
I know.
It comes back to the Golds have a lot of trust and pride issues, though, when you look at it. Because Roke even talked about, don't worry, I've got it all set up. I'm borrowing money from here. I'm borrowing money from here. I'm borrowing all this. I'm putting myself in debt. I will save you.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, true.
Thanks,
yes.
Thanks for trying to have a good night.
Yeah, that is a betrayal of what he's been working on for months.
So in his mind, his pride is hurt. Right. So it's going to take a lot more to build up, and rightfully, yes.
Yeah.
And it's going to take more to build up, but I don't think Darrow realizes how prideful Golds are, despite how long he's been with them.
Right.
Well, I don't think he realizes either how intelligent Roke is.
Right.
Roke knows that there's something extra going on now.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't know what it is. He still wants to trust his friend after all of this. But I always get the feeling here, too, right away, after this is going on, that Roke is questioning, Daryl's done all this weird stuff.
Yeah.
Why has he done all this weird stuff?
Right. Yeah. There's seeds of doubt, I think, being sown into Roke's mind.
Ooh, very good turn of phrase.
Yeah. But, okay, are we ready to jump?
Yeah, let's move on to...
But 27 being a really worthless chapter based by Bob, we kind of talked about that one. It's kind of impressive.
I apologize, Pierce, for calling jelly beans a bunch of sugary fluff.
Well, it has a very good nugget at the end. Yeah, it's a very good nugget.
It's got a good nougat in the center.
But
okay, eating chocolate.
This brings up something else that I haven't got a good answer to. I'd like to say we use the hyperdrives to get to Ganymede. What kind of time frame do we have for traveling through space here? We've never been established with how long does this take to get to different...
Are we going light speed? Are we doing warp? What are we doing here?
For a guy who loves
Ludicrous
Star
speed.
Wars...
Ludicrous speed. He's gone to plaid.
My God.
You'd think there'd be a reference to time scales here, or what kind of drives they have. I mean, I don't want to get all Star Trek nerdy here where we need to know everything about the warp coil, but just a little drop line about what kind of time frames are we talking about going between these planets?
Have what's his blue captain's name? Orion. Just have her say something about it takes this long to get to Jupiter. Or just something.
So go back into stasis or whatever you do into your jelly cushions.
And I'm just going to assume that because society has never left the solar system, that they don't have warp drives or light speed, because otherwise we'd be in different galaxies. And stuff,
exactly.
And as long as it took, it was such a big deal for Severo to be on Pluto that it had to take so many days or weeks or months or whatever to get him back when Mustang was doing the planning.
That's just sports.
So that's a very good point. That maybe we're just going on propulsion drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Do a couple laps around the planet, use it to slingshot, and that gets just kind of old school like what we got now.
Well, let's take 28 and 29 as a giant montage here, and what our feelings are about this. Because we're talking Lauren Akros. What do you guys think about this?
I love Lauren as a character.
I do.
I don't like chapter 28 though. I just wrote down, woof. That's a lot of talking for nothing to happen.
Yes.
But yeah, it's what you said, just being beaten over the head with, okay, Lauren doesn't want to help you, Lauren doesn't want to help you, Lauren doesn't want to help you. I know!
Right. There are some things here, again...
Luke's not leaving the island.
like you said, that is a lot of talking, and also sometimes some things that are really jarring, like you find out that he has pet griffins, and all this kind of stuff, which are it's really cool, but...
really cool descriptions of his house.
Yeah, right.
There's a great description in there of them looking out off the balcony with the open French doors from his office or whatever it is.
Right.
It's worded beautifully.
Right.
But by that point, I'm just like, Are we leaving from here?
Yeah,
Are we
man. I caught myself wandering when I was like
I
reading
did
and
too.
like, oh wait, what?
It was a bit of a
speed
It was
read.
a bit of a push.
I mean,
okay, fine. I
Lorne-
skipped a couple paragraphs.
And that's not saying that I don't feel like we're some sort of action junkies that are like, hey, somebody needs to be getting shot in the face with a pulse fist every chapter. But there wasn't stakes enough here that I cared, or something. There was something about it that wasn't working.
Yeah, for our first meeting of Lorne here, I mean, he's that archetype. He is he's the old warrior who's now retired. There's grandkids running around.
Right.
We find out that
He tried to kill Darrow at one point, and then Darrow turned to the dark. Sorry.
No.
Wrong universe.
Wrong universe.
Or did he try to kill
Darrow knows the grandkids.
Yep. Yeah.
Which brings up Neil's issue from earlier of how long has Darrow actually been able to spend here?
Yeah, exactly.
And is this on Earth, Lunar, or Ganymede? Where is this at?
Ganymede would be around Jupiter.
No. Where is Lorne's place?
Lorne's planet is a moon of Jupiter.
It's a moon of Jupiter. Yeah.
It says
so. It's very, very
Europa.
close. Europa.
Oh, they're on Europa.
So it's very, very close to where there's this whole shipyard.
Yeah.
And yet no one knew that Darrow was there.
Well, you see, what he did was while they were running away, he just floated away with the garbage.
But I followed him in her slave ship.
Yes.
It's got a number. What is it? Slave 5?
Slave one.
Slave 1.
It was just him and it was just him and the Asian mechanic, and they got in and they just
especially
flew
seeing
away
as
and
how
nobody
at one
knows.
point he was back on Luna with Mustang for a while, and then he went to the academy, but then he was still over there training.
Darrow's timeline, But again, I feel that a lot goes to how fast can they travel in this universe? So how can they, what's going on with that?
It comes up later about, like, he's talking with Mustang about how he never really, like, hung out with them when they were on their downtime because he was always training with Lorne.
Right.
So I took that as Lorne came to him.
Right.
And was like kind of hiding out, and they would.
And I actually, Neil, to answer, to kind of go to your question, I feel like society is huge, and it's spread out amongst
Huge,
and it's spread out amongst the entire solar system. And I feel the Golds, although they're all about pride issues and don't really trust people, I don't feel that they're all that suspicious either. It doesn't feel like there's, like you said, Klab, in the last one, how did he get a bomb into this, into this dinner party without it feels like some of that is lax, and I can see, okay, so he went to this far.
We're on top. We've always been on top. We're always going to be on top.
We're complacent in our position, and so they're letting things through the cracks. Yeah, so one Gold goes to train on ice planet Europa. I guess it's now ocean planet. Terraformed, but
salt planet.
I do need to fix something there right now. Because going back here, it was not him being on Europa, because at that time, Lorne was still the Rage Knight. So he was with the society.
Maybe he came to him.
So, because he just retired not that long ago. Because then,
but how old are these grandkids?
I don't know.
I don't.
Because what's his name?
They're younglings.
Lysander.
Because Lysander's what, 8, 10?
10. Yeah, I think,
10. There's the other grandkids that are here. Darrow knows his way around the house. He knows his way around. He knows the grandkids that have been living on this moon.
On that side, Lysander, who is the grandson to Octavia, is also the grandson to Lorne.
Yes. The unknown grandson. Lorne's never met him.
And this is never met him, but now there's the whole, they're family connected too.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, why is she not watching him more, even more so now?
Maybe that's what creates trust in him.
Kind of that whole, like, giving your daughter away, like, in the olden times. Yeah. So.
Right. That's something I'm willing to give the book, I guess, but I hear where you're coming from.
Yeah. Okay. So we go out here. We're looking at the Griffin.
Which I have written down in my notes. It's all cool. I like the environment and the griffins. But
Klab and I are trying to pass over moving on from this moment.
Half my family's very Italian, and I feel like I'm just sitting at dinner right now.
We get to where they're talking about this griffin, and they notice that Lorne shows that there's a saddle on the griffin.
Yeah, and he pretty much tells them to get on it and ride away.
Get out of here. They're already here earlier. The Empire arrived before you. Sorry. And look, and again, a second movie, second book. So now he's borrowing from Empire to get to here, and they're borrowing from.
Think about.
Now I have the picture of the one servant like running down the hallway with the ice cream maker.
But
There's
yeah,
an action figure of that.
we find out that the society's already here.
Yes.
And they're currently holding a lot of Lauren's family hostage.
And Aya is
there. Former students again.
Yeah, who we find out,
Kylo's here to get Rey. I mean,
Aja.
Aya was a student of Lauren's as well, but she was the student who left before the training was complete.
Right, and I'm waiting for this fight, because this is like the samurai training. Student on student, it has to happen.
I hope you're patient.
Because it's not happening.
Not in this book.
Not in this book. I'm halfway through the other one. It still ain't happening.
So but yeah, it turns out Darrow had a plan the entire time. Darrow does what Darrow does. He had a plan the entire time.
Yeah.
His howlers are waiting in the water. Roke's up top in the ship, ready to blast everybody away.
Yeah. I like all this.
Because again, we have the Howlers. We have several in the Howlers in some
Oh, yeah.
weird hiding place.
Yeah. Again.
Always.
Again.
Always.
Yeah.
Several quit hiding in weird
Which
stuff.
I like. It's a nice callback to Red Rising.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is where it's revealed that he knows that Pliny is working for the Sovereign.
Pliny's being Pliny.
Yeah, and oh man, this when he runs into Aya and like they have this little like showdown, the description of the mines and like the order they go off and the reason they go off in this order was so cool. It's like flashbang to like stun them, concussive to launch them into the air, and then was the third one to suck them back down and like hurt them?
Something like that. Yeah, it was really
because
cool.
and they talked about it too. The gravity here is super weak.
Yeah.
So it's like when it does blast them, they're flying up, and then it's like a reverse gravity thing that sucks them down. It's just so cool.
Slams their bodies.
So cool.
It is really cool. Yeah.
Well, and we have this, and Tactus is here as well.
Oh, he returns.
Yes, Tactus returns. He and Aya are here. He sets off these landmines. Aya disappears. Tactus disappears. We figure out that Tactus has gone to kill the children.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, like Tactus is mean, but like, man, that's dark.
I was following orders.
Oh man.
But we get this really cool scene here between, and stop me if I'm jumping too far. But we get this kind of nice scene here between Tactus and Darrow, where Darrow corners Tactus, and Tactus actually,
begs for forgiveness.
Dude, I'm sorry. I should have never done that. I should have never left you. I got scared, and I was looking out for me, and I'm sorry.
Right.
Darrow hugs him. You can come back. You can come back to the good side. Lets him go, and Lawrence stabs him. Nobody threatens my frickin' grandkids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which I like that. It didn't carry a lot of weight for me, but I liked this moment.
Later on, it carries more weight for me.
Yes.
Yeah. With a certain wonderful conversation.
You can talk about it.
Well, I don't remember when it happens now because I'm really confused about the time.
Well, and I think there was a statement in here too, where Darrow is trying to, this war, trying to tell Lauren this war is going to come to you whether you like it or not. You might as well choose your side now and become involved. And part of the reason that we find out right after, part of the reason Lauren stabs Tactus and blatantly murders Tactus was to punish Darrow.
Yeah.
You brought me back into this.
Yep.
You brought me back into this. Therefore, you don't get that. You don't get to hug him and bring him back in. I'm going to kill him because you brought me back into this.
Yeah.
Now we have work to do. Let's go.
And he also
which just shows the coldness of the gold mentality too.
But he also waits until his grandkids are gone.
Well, yes.
Which is like
he's polite.
He is a freaking monster, but he's a he's not going to raise his kids wrong.
We know.
Speaks a lot.
You don't get to find out that Pappy's a monster till you're older.
Yeah, it's true. True. It's true.
Grandpa, can I look at this photo album? Not that one.
All right,
everybody's killed in there or something. I don't know.
We're jumping down to chapter 30, A Gathering Storm. Again, a really weird
just some talking on
chapter.
the ship.
It's just
a little interlude.
Again, a chapterlet. Yeah.
Ragnar's BA. That's all I got written down here for this.
Yeah, right.
Oh, but Darrow kind of slips to Orion. And does he say bloody damn?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's kind of...
Yep. Those walls are, I think
putting a lot of trust.
I don't know if we're supposed to interpret that he's getting kind of comfortable or complacent.
I think that was...
little cracks that are showing.
Darrow is very...
He always has his stuff together.
Yes.
But, just every once in a while,
I think that was
human
planned.
flaws.
I think that was planned.
Oh, really?
He's so...
meticulous with his
meticulous. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. He's so meticulous. Everything he does... 98% of what he does is meticulous as planned, and I think that was like, he's like, okay, I trust Orion.
Right.
Let it slip.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But
Which
what all
is
that
going
happens.
to have to start happening because you're still kind of going. He is a gold at the head of all of this. How are those cracks? How is he going to flip this table?
Yeah.
You know, it hasn't appeared yet. Even in this book, I don't feel like that. There's really a bigger picture as to how this is going to flip with the Sons of Ares and everything else.
Well, and we do have this nice heartfelt conversation in the fridge.
Oh, that's later on.
Oh, yeah.
And whatever.
Well, okay, we find out Pliny's Pliny.
Yeah.
And I told the sovereign of our plan.
Yeah, this is cool. Chapter 31 coup, yeah. So her fleet is waiting in ambush when they arrive, and Augustus and the Jackal, along with the other loyal house members, were all taken prisoner.
And back to the plan, which we forgot to mention here a little bit.
Yeah.
There were two plans. Daryl was going to go get Lorne.
Oh, that's right.
And Augustus was going to go start working on taking the ships on Ganymede.
Yeah.
And they got set up.
Yep.
And did someone take it from there because I'm trying to remember it.
Oh, that was that was where Pliny
Yes.
betrayed
That's
them,
right.
tipped off the sovereign. Mustang was able to escape. She makes it back to Darrow's ship.
But the Jackal does not.
True. Yes.
No, the Jackal and
Nero,
Augustus.
Jackal and Augustus, both.
Both of them got captured.
It's always
But it's
capture.
kinda-
It's never just kill.
And it was kind of hinted at. I mean, there's some really good character moments here between Darrow and Mustang. Severo was with Mustang. No, he wasn't. I'm sorry.
Severo was with Darrow.
Severo was with Darrow. I'm sorry.
Again, the map of where characters should be.
Also, my notes are messy. It's good character moments that are going on here with Darrow and Mustang. They kind of they knew what Pliny was up to, but they had to force his hand. So this was part of those two's plan.
Right.
Whereas Severo comes in with an eye.
Always.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's Pliny's eye? Whose eye
No. He doesn't come in with it. Mustang has
Mustang
it. And then
has
Severo,
it.
hey,
He picks it up, yeah.
can I have that? I mean,
Yeah.
Severo continuing his weird stuff of collecting weird, strange, disgusting things.
Yeah, and I'm going to
Continues.
collect the set, is what he says. Yeah. And actually, I have it written down here. Darrow and Mustang, they're talking about their plan. This is the awesome character moment I was talking about.
Yeah.
This is just triggering it all back in my head here. They're talking to each other oh, this happened, just like we knew it was going to, and they're just kind of speaking in they're very familiar with each other.
Yeah.
And is it Orion talks to Severo? Somebody talks to Severo, and Severo's just he's yeah, they're odd. They're just
they communicate
and
well.
it's really their relationship is really coming together here for me. You know, they're so familiar with each other. They have all these little inside jokes, code words. It's I'm really enjoying this.
I'm going to tell listeners and all of us earmark this part about how close Darrow and Mustang are at this point, because I feel like maybe not in this podcast, but our next one we get into that might be a little bit of an issue for me as we go into the next book about where I thought their relationship was and what ends up happening.
I'm with you, Bob.
Yeah. So we're going to kind of jet through this. Again, a lot of these, my notes through 31, 32, 33 is just kind of
are very quick pace and
very quick. Yeah.
It is nice though that
blends here compared to some of the other ones where it does slow down.
I agree.
And I do like that it's split up, because I always I never stop reading a book when it's not between chapters.
I do too. Yeah.
So I do like that it kind of gives you an opportunity. You want to go to bed yet?
Yeah.
No. You want to go to bed
You
yet?
want to go to bed yet?
You want to go to bed yet? No.
Yeah. So
what's with that Netflix? Are you still watching?
Yes. Don't judge me.
Well, and then this is where, as we keep rolling, we have this discussion between Ragnar and Darrow in the freezer. And I like the fact that Ragnar just hangs out in the freezer because that's
what
where
is wrong with that?
That's where he's the most comfortable, because everything else is too warm.
I love Ragnar. He's a really good kind of character act, because he adds kind of like what Chewbacca or somebody else would to, or Drax would to.
Drax,
kind of a Drax element. Yeah.
Nothing goes over my head.
Yeah.
My reflexes are too fast. It's a chapter with a lot of talking, for sure.
It's a chapter
All
with
about
a lot of talking.
loyalty and trust. I mean,
You.
Why do we keep doing this when we have these same moments for some reason? It's this weird cross table thing here.
It looks fantastic. I wish you could see what we're seeing.
We're sorry, listeners. But it's 32 Die Young, where you get the scene basically in the morgue where
Yeah.
Roke is sitting next to Tactus,
Yeah.
just sitting there, and it's the continuation of, well, he was our friend. You don't understand. When you gave him that violin, yeah, he went to sell it, but he felt terrible.
Right.
So he went to go buy it back. And that's the moment where, sorry folks, I got confused by a weird camera being around everywhere. But Tactus turns out that when Darrow had bought him this really expensive violin, he'd sold it for drugs, but then he felt terrible, so he went and bought it back, so that he could learn to play it after all this time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Roke just trying to say, well, he's your friend, and here's another little stab into your heart, make you feel a little bad that you caused his death now too.
Right. Yeah.
And really, what I have,
yeah.
Man, Roke is feeling fishy to me right here. Like all my notes are taken in the moment. I'm like, man, there's something's up.
Like
something's up. I don't. Something's going on.
He's a good friend, but he's very easily spurned or whatever.
Like he's very much he's
very touchy.
Yeah. And I think
he's an English major.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's a drama person. He has that. It's true.
In another life, he was
he's
the dude.
The poet. Yeah, the one who can easily be scorned and just take
to his heart.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
In another life, he was that dude we all knew in college, sitting in the quad with the turtleneck sweater, smoking the foreign cigarettes, reading poetry.
What brand of foreign cigarettes did you go for?
I thought it was native.
I was the other side. I was the flannel wearing, ripped up jeans, Doc Martin guy.
Oh, okay. That painted such a good picture. I just watched it.
It was created before.
But no, that is the thing. Is he's hurt, and Roke doesn't know how to process.
Yeah,
hurt. Right. None of these golds know how to process things that didn't go their way or that things that weren't expected.
It's almost like entitlement is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Really?
Yeah.
People die. People can die. Things can happen. You have to stab your best friend. You have to do all these different things in the game or within society. Yeah. But that's just the way it goes.
Right.
Dude, you actually hurt me. And Roke doesn't know how to. And I think that's part of the fishy feeling here. And I just got the feeling of, oh my God, he has no idea how to process this.
Yeah, right.
That's a good.
I do like no idea how to process being hurt by somebody he cares about.
I like that. You're helping me through this a lot right now.
And Darrow, though, he realizes he has to do something to fix the situation. And Mustang even tells him, "You have to fix this."
Yeah.
Yep. I know. I'll get to it.
Yes, dear.
Right.
You probably should do that a lot faster.
Right. The only other thing I got written down for this chapter is that Victra's loyalty is questioned. I'm just like, didn't we do this already?
Yes.
Why are we
did.
bringing this up again? Like it's.
So can we jump to 33? Dance. The thing that jumped out to me, we're having this conversation between Mustang and Darrow in here, and they dropped the Drake-Roddenberry equation about whether or not alien life can exist out there.
Oh, that was real?
That's a real thing.
Oh,
yeah, which like really popped out at me, and I have this written down.
I just skipped over it because like I ain't smart enough to be able to read that.
I was like, well, I could use aliens right about now. But you know what got me excited? Hearing that and what they kind of throw out there, I'm like, okay, I'm hoping, and I'm saying this knowing, already having read what this next trilogy coming out next is supposed to be about. Oh. And my heart sunk just a little bit because I read this and I was like, yeah, this would be the next escalation. If you want this to get bigger, the next trilogy, aliens.
Which is...
Nope. The next trilogy I'm hearing is about him trying to retain power in...
But, hey, I mean, you say that, these books twist and turn.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Book 2,
we
aliens.
could very easily have Red Rising.
Oh, and that was actually...
That's true. That's true.
It was just tweeted out. Crap, what is...
You can pre-order the second.
Yeah, the title, what is it? Dark Times?
Dark Times
or something like that?
But from all the pretty stuff that's come out when he's been talking about it, it's him. I don't know that it's a spoiler to anybody that Darrow will rise to the top on this one, right?
What? Just the fact that there is a second trilogy kind of tipped me off.
It's kind of tipped you off, unless it's about his kids.
Yeah, Dark Age.
But
Dark what?
Dark Age.
Dark Age. Yeah. But that it's
Thor, Dark Age or Dark World. What?
That Pierce Brown was really interested in the idea of once you gain power to yourself, how do you maintain it?
Yeah, and that really I do feel that in this book with big climax, Fallout.
Right.
Yeah, this is it makes sense that there is another trilogy.
Right. But I'm worried because that sounds really political, like political machinations. That has never been great.
The
for
only
me
thing
in these.
we'll talk about it towards the end of this book.
Yeah. Well, and especially at the end of the next book. But
yeah, man,
Yep.
Chapter 33, a dance. It's just Mustang and Darrow talking in his quarters. Ragnar's there a little bit.
But then they have all this tension, and again, Mustang leaves.
I like this.
I didn't.
You know what? She's...
Well, no. But
so then it was okay.
No. But we have just talked about how on board they are with each other, feeling, and then
she's revealing, like, okay, they are, like, you know, when they're there with each other, they're kind of flirting a little bit.
Yeah, right.
But now she's like, okay, I'm sick of flirting. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and even like, you get a little...
Which they've already done at the end of Red Rising, right?
But they haven't seen... But then she's with Cassius. It's just
right.
They were done, and now they're getting back together.
Right.
And she reveals, like, she's, like, jealous of Victra. Which I really like that. Like, she's like... Mustang is awesome. She's a tough lady. She's very smart. But then it's like, there is some insecurity there.
Right.
Like, there's some character flaw. I do like that. But yeah, you're right. She wants more from him, and all he does is just sit there and like stare at his hands. Like,
right. Which I get, because it's kind of interesting to me in this society. What would it look like in these kind of relationship and love things when everybody that's a gold is physically perfect?
Physically perfect, banging pinks left and right.
Yeah, exactly. So almost in some ways you're like, well, so why do they couple up? Why does marriage still exist?
It's Hollywood. Every couple of years, someone gets divorced, and they find someone who just got divorced, and they work their way around.
Relationships. I mean, they are.
They adopt a couple third world grays.
But yeah,
I gotta look away from it.
This chapter is good because really she hasn't let her feelings be like explicitly known to the reader.
Right.
So it's good. It's just a little affirmation.
I have Jim and Pam from The Office. It's feeling like Jim and Pam.
I'm rewatching The Office right now. That is so good.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's feeling like to me. Where you're just frustrated. At the end, you're like, I almost closed the book when I'm done. I feel like I'm some lady sitting in an airport reading one of those romance novels. And I just like close the book and just.
That was pretty good. A lot of
Why is he so blind?
She loves him.
I mean, go make another cup of chamomile tea and sit down and keep reading.
I need chamomile tea. I'm all revved up.
Tea time.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Blood Brothers.
This was the freezer talk.
The freezer talk. Yes, here's the freezer talk.
Yeah, it's fun.
And
so
he might have been in there the whole time, but I guess it is important to say that he does reveal who he is to Ragnar
and freeze him.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
He tells
that's why we said freeze. Like
no, not freeze.
Not F-R-E-E-Z.
He first off tells Ragnar that
he's free.
That you're free. You're no longer. You're a free man. You're no longer in. If you want to keep fighting with me, I'd love to have you keep fighting with me. But you're going to fight with me as my friend.
And he's just like
mind blown.
My mind is blown because then he tells Ragnar that he's a red.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god.
And he's just, I love you. No, you're not. Just can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Is this some sort of trick?
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, I love that. Because he says that is something that golds do is they try to like trick their obsidians into disobeying their stains.
Although I think it's a strength to how he's built up Ragnar. I never thought Ragnar was going to betray him. Like, even though I was like, oh crap, he just dropped that he's a red. I never questioned whether or not Ragnar would betray him.
I guess I might have questioned, but not to the full extent where I questioned other golds betraying him.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to betray him, but maybe he would just like shut down and stop helping him. You know,
I hear that. Yeah,
this was Robin Hood freeing the Moor.
Oh yeah.
During the Crusades for me.
Yes. I hear you. Azim.
Achoo. Sorry, I went to Men in Tights. Sorry. Bless you.
All right, so chapter 35.
Somebody say tea time.
Someone said chamomile.
Yeah, chamomile tea. Get some tea. Well, Darrow frees the jackal. Yeah. Everybody else captured with him.
Just leave him tied up.
I know.
But a deal. It speaks again to Darrow's honor, and I think Darrow's smarts in a lot of ways.
Right.
Is, okay, this is the one guy that I can trust because I can trust that I can't trust him.
Whoa.
Yeah, true.
Whoa.
All I can think of is Littlefinger now.
I
trust him for a moment, and then I don't trust him. And now I trust him again, but I don't know what he's going to do, and pretty soon he's going to lose his head.
Good.
The Littlefinger and the Jackal are very similar archetypes.
Right. And I love this throwback to the fact that Darrow is a helldiver, and he gets onto this drill to melt through the floor and drop on top of this dinner party that's going on.
I know how to use this thing.
Literally crashing this dinner. I love it. I love it.
This is where I have it written down. Probably the beginning of tea time. I think I'd read a couple of paragraphs in, and I just started writing this. I felt like there was not a lot going on in the beginning of it, but it's good. But I feel like the action scenes outweigh the non-action scenes.
Yeah.
And it's not that the non-action scenes aren't written well.
Yeah.
It's that the action scenes are written so
good. They stand out against this.
And that maybe it's just a balancing thing. Maybe it does. Maybe it shouldn't go in between them, like to where I'm going to get whiplash.
And we just came off an entire series before this where we had two authors.
Yeah.
And I think you're right, Luke. Is this especially here when we go from all the talking on ships with Darrow.
Hello, welcome back.
to the fight scenes, it almost feels like we have it almost feels like they're two different authors.
Yeah, in some ways.
What was the Stephen King book with the author who had the split personality?
Oh, is that the? Oh, it was a one where it was the author who was writing a book, but it wasn't him.
It was a split personality.
Make that a movie with Johnny Depp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's where Pierce. Are you okay?
I think he's fine.
Because this definitely feels like two completely different authors to me here.
But okay, so getting back into the chapter, Darrow and his crew are aboard the Invictus.
And there's a wonderful moment between two characters here, and they're the ones who I think there's a great connection between the people at this table of Severo and Ragnar.
Oh my god.
Severo's sitting there talking over the intercom. Oh, and he's rhyming back and forth with Ragnar. Rhyming. Just can't stand it. And then he goes and insults Severo. You squawk like a chicken. And Severo's stunned. What? You can't say anything bad about me. How dare you? Control him. And just, nope, done. And goes back to the whole freeing thing. It's amazing seeing how Ragnar comes up with his moment of humor. Who knows where he came up with this whole squawk like a chicken idea?
That was a joke. I just invented it.
You squawk like chicken.
What?
Yeah.
So he crashes the dinner party. Literally.
Crashes the dinner party. They end up. He pretty much tells all the Golds, "Join us or die." And Darrow turns to leave, and he can hear all the razors coming undone as they all start killing Pliny, which is great. And we haven't really talked about Pliny as being like kind of this callback to a philosopher from Rome, but.
Oh no! I didn't
Who cares? Now he's dead.
Yeah. And the chapter ends with the Reaper calls for an iron rain.
Yeah. If there's a place where this book now all of a sudden turns, for me, it's from the Iron Rain on.
From all the setup of everything,
From all
saying
the
his
all,
side of the
all
board,
of this.
and then
Yep.
Yeah. Totally.
He has spent a lot of time, this almost entire section, setting up stuff that I've gotten bored with. Actually, a lot of this.
Yeah.
From the Iron Rain on. Oh man, I could hardly stop.
It starts
reading.
to go quick.
Yes.
The pace really ratchets up compared to this early section from 25 to 36, where. We
The
want chapters cut out.
The longest 11 chapters of my life.
Here's what I would say.
Is this where you stalled the first time you read it through? I'm just curious. Because you said you did stall at one point when you read it.
That was it was way in the beginning. I didn't make it to part 2. I didn't make it through part 1.
I was curious to see if that...
Again, I feel it's editing decisions. All of the stuff that the characters say to each other in those chapters that we found long, they're good. They add to the story. It's necessary, but it's just... Again, that sometimes on the cutting room floor you got to leave stuff that you don't want to leave, and it just felt like there needed to be stuff. And I don't know what I am not as good as anybody writing this book.
I'm gonna call it back to what I said earlier. It's just they're being overshadowed by the action scenes.
Yeah,
I don't think that the non-action scenes aren't written well.
No,
or that they're not necessary.
No, I don't.
I just think that everything else is so much better.
Yeah. It's almost he's in a fight with himself. In some ways, of being good and too good, or something. But let's talk for this Iron Rain. What is an Iron Rain?
I don't think it's ever like explicitly said, but you're just like you figure it out.
You figure it out, right? Where everybody they all jump into these star shells,
and
they're all shot. Down. They all rain down on the planet. Super awesome idea.
Great visuals.
Oh,
just great,
awesome.
Great movie visuals of having the ships above the planet, and then just
Yeah, and literally it's like War Machine and Iron Man or something all just raining down on
the
planet.
Yeah.
I mean,
thousands
of them, which would be awesome, right?
And it's setting up though, because now we're going to have, and this is where I go back to what they wanted to do with Star Wars Battlefront, the new ones, where you have the war going on in space, where you've got Roke leading the ships.
Yeah.
Then you've got the ground forces dropping down, setting up your lower spot.
Yeah.
And there's all these.
Yeah.
My book closed. Sorry. Now I can't reference the spots I wanted to shoot. But you've got all these different setups for just this one planet. And now they're actually getting more allies coming in who they haven't been able to talk to. Because Golds, what do they want? They want to be remembered. Now their names are going to get put into history if they're part of this.
Yeah.
Whether it's one side or not.
And Darrow plays to that.
Yes, and of course. He has that wonderfully long speech that's almost the whole chapter.
He does have a very long speech.
Though.
But it's very good, yes.
Yeah. And he apologizes to Roke one more time for good luck. And he doesn't really accept it. He's just like, oh, we'll get to this later. Wink, wink.
Well, the thing with that, and I just had it open here, is because Roke is coming with ideas, and Darrow, nope, I want this. He's already rejecting his ideas in the first place.
Sure.
So now when he goes back and says, well, I really am truly sorry. Okay. That's kind of how I pictured it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk later.
And I like in this chapter, in 36, Lord of War, I like how with Darrow, it's almost like he can only have so much of this goal life, and then he eventually almost retches against it for a second before he can continue on. He always has these moments of low point where he's like, I just wish I was with EO. And he has another one of those moments, right? You know, like I have come from nothing, and here I am standing on kind of the eve of my success, you know, and I'm poised to do this. And yet again, it's almost like he physically can't take it, you know, and he wishes he was just with EO and his child, which I like. It so humanizes him.
It looked like you had something. That was all.
Okay.
But no,
but anyway, we go back to this
kind
kind of fist pounding on chests, and the warriors are smearing bloody handprints on their faces and all kinds of stuff. He ends up talking with Lorne about how Achilles was a fool, which I kind of like all this. Again, throwing back to...
Oh, yeah, you get like that.
I love these little bits of real... You know, whether it's the Roddenberry equation or, you know, again, the names of everything. I love these little bits of, okay, this could really be our future, and these are the snippets that we've kept.
Yeah. I like that.
Think of somebody from Homer's time, or or one of the guys, if the Iliad or if the Odyssey is true. Think about one of the guys from there. Reading a story about us.
Yeah.
And going, no, they got that completely wrong.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's where I feel is it brings it home for me.
Right. So into 37, 38, Darrow's preparing for this invasion, and he has this little bit of a talk with Severo. And I like Severo because he always seems to ground Darrow in some way back to Earth, and he reminds him that his men follow him and not Augustus, and that when it's all over, Darrow will become a god.
Yeah. And there's always these moments of what would Severo do? Because Severo really is Darrow's conscience.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
He's very dirty. He is really Darrow's. He is Darrow's Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah.
Well, he's Goblin Jimmy Wolf.
He also, though, sometimes can, I think, play his ego in a way, which sometimes can run away from him. He sometimes can be that unbounded, aggressive ego part of him that maybe steps over the line that Darrow wouldn't cross.
Well, yeah, and remember, that's because Severo's not your typical Gold.
No, he is not.
Severo he's smaller. He's always had to fight for his stuff. Have we found out?
Nope.
We can just throw it out there because it comes out in this book, so it's just free form.
We actually find out that technically Severo's a half-breed.
Yeah.
Half red.
Technically Severo is an actual half red that was made the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Which again, that brings up a thing constantly I've got to constantly reset what I'm thinking in my head because we find out that she had to be modified.
Yeah.
His mom to be able to even not to get too gross, but to be able to take his seed.
Yeah,
but to be able to have a child.
For the gold sperm and the red egg to combine, they actually had to
because they're huge.
They had to build her like a specialized uterus.
Yeah, because at this point, Darrow is like over 7 feet tall. Mm-hmm. He is huge, which I never keep that in my head. I never keep.
I guess I don't. He is always
head.
bigger than Severo in my mind.
Right, he is.
Good God, how big is Rhaegar?
But when you think about it, if this were a movie, like a lot of these golds would be towering over everybody.
Or the blues like Hobbit sized.
Yeah, I know. It would be a weird looking.
They're stuck on technology. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. There's a lot of talking going on in Chapter 37, Chapter 38.
Let's get right to the iron.
I just want to just throw one thing in there that on how, since it's war, you make very unlikely allies a lot of the time. And in this one, they get probably one of the most unlikely allies ever. Oh, hey, it's Proctor Jupiter.
Yeah.
Hey, I hated you at the Academy, but this sounds like a great idea to be part of this Iron Reign. I'm with you now.
For glory and honor.
For glory and honor, and I tell you what, I hate that beep more than I hate
yourself. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Exactly.
Yes. And now we get into this giant movie epic thing, the Iron Reign. Darrow's launched out with thousands of his soldiers in star shells. I mean, it's just epic space battles and all of this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it's completely silent.
Oh, yeah,
I do like that thrown in there because it's space. Yeah, there's no sound. Whereas look at a lot of movies. You look at Star Wars. You look at
sorry.
You look at Star Wars. You look at Star Trek. You look at all these. Every time it's a space battle, there's always noise, explosions. Yet Firefly, I knew you were going to say it. That's why I took it from you. But Firefly is an example. It's audience. If you were listening, I just made a hand motion to look like I was making a ship fly, just like silence. And here, Darrow's seeing all this, but no sound. Mm-hmm. At this point, they're not even able to communicate through their helmets anymore, are they?
I think it's something to do with entry that they're not able to.
But I have this picture again too. Where I'm remembering the last time we did this, and I'm remembering Servo pooping himself.
Servo.
Servo was Mystery Science Theater 3.
Yeah.
Several. I remember
people are going to.
So now we have. So I did get a quick flash in my head of Beavis and Butthead poop humor.
What?
Of thousand, all of these soldiers like flying through and coming down and just landing, and everybody's just poop.
Yeah. Like diarrhea is leaking out from their joints.
Hundreds of soldiers, and it's just
the Star Shell armor has this like hatch on the back, and it just kind of like ejects an adult diaper.
like automatically when they land, and they just keep going.
Yeah.
And it goes back to
they do have radio communications because Rock tells Darrow that the Sovereign's on the planet.
Oh yeah.
So they do.
Yeah. Well, no,
but I don't know.
I was talking about the actual when they're.
Yeah, and I don't know. I can't remember.
The one thing I can't remember. It was a movie, book, show. One of them where it talks about how it's someone who's really young going into combat, and they're like, "Well, I never really thought about the smell of how combat would be."
Oh, yes.
I don't. What is that one?
I don't
remember.
I remember that.
It's stuck in my head, but it goes to this of. Well, look at these guys are crapping themselves.
Yeah.
As people are dying, all this is happening. Even despite all this technology, like you're saying, this is still a regular war.
Yeah, Darrow has like a scientifically altered butt.
Right. I do like though that Darrow kind of makes this statement on technology about how it changes war, and that at the Institute he was fighting this kind of medieval warfare where he fears men, but now that technology makes you fear shadows and the air and the silence.
And just one
because there's drone warfare going on here.
Yes.
And it takes you out without even knowing that.
Yeah, that's a little
which is very disconcerting.
Hidden close to home.
It is.
Yeah.
Well,
also, when they're in space, they also get Victra's mother switches sides real quick.
Yeah,
I feel like
that was
and her mom had talked.
Yes.
And
it was. I mean, really all it was they just shelled it. They shelled out enough cash for Robert Downey Jr. to be in the next Avengers movie. Okay, fine, I'll do it. Just kills a bunch of people.
To be said, remind me. I'm remembering correctly. Victra is Antonia's younger sister. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so this is
older, younger.
Half sisters.
Something like that.
Half sister.
Going back to the Hollywood relationships.
Sorry. And so I kind of felt that there was something that was going to go on, and there was something that was going to happen with this. Mm-hmm. But yeah, her switching sides, I'm like, Yeah, all right. One more for the good guys. Here we go.
Yep.
And one more for maybe Victra to use against Darrow. Well, you know my mom.
right.
My mom's got a lot of money now.
Yeah. So anyway, they hit the ground running, and it's this huge battle montage. It's really awesome, and
this is
like
great.
I said,
the music is swelling.
Swelling.
You have that like sweet guitar in the background where you're bada 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 da
This is near the end of the episode.
and
then we get
and
to
Roke ends up radioing saying, "Hey, the Sovereign is on Mars. She's behind the shields of Aegea. So we need to get to that city." And so we're at the wall, chapter 39.
And Darrow says
that he knows, and like all I have written down is, okay, dude, I kind of find that hard to believe. Like, I mean, Darrow's really smart, and he always seems to be one step ahead of everybody.
It's a step too far.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah.
So I'm gonna go with a Last Jedi reference here.
Okay.
Oh my God, this is too soon, man.
No. Because now here's what I was thinking, and I actually had this conversation with you, Bob,
Yeah.
the other day in school, actually.
Right.
That Darrow is keeping all of his secrets close to the chest, and I'm sitting here thinking the Jackal found out about this because there's conversations about HoloNets being dropped earlier in chapters and stuff like that. So we found out there, but he's not telling any of his other subordinates and stuff like that.
Right.
And it goes back to purple hair, long neck.
Laura Dern, Lorna Doone.
Laura Dern and
Admiral Holdo.
Holdo. And we had this conversation, Bob, where it was, well, why isn't she telling anyone her plan?
Yeah,
I
came at you all mad, like I don't get. She pretty much caused Poe to do what he did, and then
I ended up going, well, she doesn't know who's a spy or not. And here's where I'm thinking, well, that's why Darrow's not saying this to anyone. He's
good
not
idea.
sure
That was a good
who
idea.
is a spy or not. He trusts Severo, and for some strange reason, he trusts the Jackal. Not sure
I don't
why he
know
trusts the
why
Jackal
that
on that
is,
part.
yeah.
But
He shouldn't.
it continues along the fracturing of another relationship again. I'm gonna fix this, Rogue. I'm gonna fix this. I just lied to you again. I didn't trust you again.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Right.
This is not good.
Yeah, true.
And we get to 39 now, and that's
Yeah,
just
the only
where
other
I
thing
like
in
it.
38 was we get some really cool descriptions of Mars's ecosystem.
Yes.
Which we got a little bit in book 1.
Yeah, not huge descriptions. We know there's cities. We know they've terraformed it.
Yeah,
we know there's trees in places.
Snowy mountains.
Yeah.
There's evidently a central park somewhere.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. 39 at the wall.
At the wall. Boy, what a place to end this chapter. So there's this. Aegea is a city protected by a huge wall that's in the canyon. So I'm assuming the city is within the canyon. And there's this giant
hidden back underground.
Hoover
many
Dam.
tunnels.
I'm picturing Hoover Dam, and behind it is the city, and they're coming up to this giant dam wall.
Is there a door that just can't be broken except by like a battering ram that's a machine?
If they had this giant cannon.
If they had this giant battering ram cannon with a bunch of...
I got more, I would go more Lord of the Rings.
I did think Helm's
But
Deep,
then
but now that I'm sitting...
Darrow would probably try to sacrifice himself by flying into the cannon, and Mustang would fly into him.
Well, no,
and
they're
stop
side
him.
of the cannon.
No, this would be a weird thing where like Victra, where like Roke would go after it, and then Victra would save him and be like, I've always loved you.
Sorry, I promise that's the last time I'll make...
No, it won't be. I know it won't be.
But at the wall.
There's a river that flows under it, and I like this because
It's a callback.
Pierce Brown, I think, likes his ancient Roman and Greek history, and he modernizes all of this. And this is like, there is tons of stories throughout history of how great walled cities, they're taken out because the soldiers come through the river, because these cities need water, and they sneak through the river.
And it's a callback too to Red Rising when he's tried to send Severo up the drain pipes in, I don't remember which castle they tried to take.
Yep, good one.
It was Minerva, wasn't it?
I think it was Minerva.
I think it was Minerva.
But tried to send someone up there,
Yep.
and now he's trying it again.
Doing the same
with
thing.
hopefully better knowledge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, kind of. It's set up. It's set up really well.
It's set up really well. I mean, it's a great idea, but
the Suns sent some Reds in to carve out all the
tunnels.
Dug holes.
The
hole.
grates that were in
the
the way.
grates that
Because only Reds could have like cut them without alerting the alarms. And
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
Really cool.
But I love this. So they go underwater. They come up on the other side of the city.
Again, great. Yeah, this is the SEAL team coming out.
Oh, the visuals are awesome.
Water.
Awesome on this.
Wolf masks.
And there's this girl that's on the bank with a gold.
How old did you think this girl was?
I was going with 7.
Yeah,
I thought they were 7.
I was going with 7.
not old.
Yeah.
But what I wrote down was a brown girl, and I'm like, I felt really weird writing that.
Actually, I will tell you, I completely saw Kiera. This
Yeah,
was
yeah,
completely
right. Yeah,
Kiera
yeah,
in my head.
yeah, something. Yeah, my daughter. Yeah, yeah, definitely sitting kind of by the riverside, but this ball is not a ball. It's an EMP globe. She activates this thing, and everything goes to hell.
Yeah, Belena's start raining down from the wall, and that's when we begin to die.
Oh, what a cliffhanger!
Yeah.
Oh man.
And that's the end.
That's the end of book 3.
Part 3.
Part 3. Sorry.
You're in a mode today.
All right, so we're into part 4, Ruin, chapter
Rise
40.
so high in mud you lie.
Yeah, prophetic, and it happened.
Chapter 40, mud.
This is a very claustrophobic chapter. I read through this so quick because I needed it to be over. I mean, they're trapped in their suits. Water's flooding in. Darrow I love this. He activates his razor that's wrapped because they keep him wrapped around their arm.
And this
It's the new style.
Yeah,
It's
it was.
the new thing
And that's
to do.
what Lauren talked about.
Yeah, I was
He's like,
talking
you
about-
punks wearing them around there. You're gonna lose
Which
an arm.
I think Lauren.
saved his
Yeah,
ass.
he's right. He's right. Yeah.
I had an issue here.
Oh,
yeah?
really? Okay.
If the EMP knocks out everything in the suits, why didn't the EMP knock out the razor?
Oh.
They talk about it. It's
Really?
it's a chemical reaction. It's not electronic.
But its chemical reaction is still technically electronic.
No. Well, yeah.
Well,
that's
what
not-
triggers
that's
the
not-
chemical reaction?
That's not well. It's something I don't think they get into that. But it's the razor is chemically based. It's not electronic based.
Right.
EMPs just knock out like circuitry.
So maybe run off your
Okay.
own.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy the circuitry thing. I'll buy the
yeah,
circuitry.
There's no circuitry in a razor.
Thank you from the tech guy.
Hey.
So this thing's wrapped around his arm, and he uses just enough not to cut off his arm, but just cuts.
He
through
still
the
cuts
skin.
himself.
Yeah, still cuts himself. Man, he opens it up
What,
to the
dang near
river.
to the bone?
Yeah.
And I have this great vision here of, how blood floats in water.
Oh, yeah.
And as he's cutting himself out, like the blood just floated. Him watching the blood just floating out from his arm as he's trying. He's like, no, but I gotta get out. No, but I gotta get out. No, but I gotta get
And
out.
all that muffled underwater sound, and you could,
And Pierce, and Pierce, great.
Don't trust
I'm not claustrophobic.
Uh-huh.
When I'm jump out to the listeners with some of the other stuff I do on the other side of my life. I'm a firefighter. I'm not claustrophobic. I've been in tight spaces. I've been in spaces where you can't breathe. You have the mask on and everything else. I felt claustrophobic in this chapter.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was great writing to give the reader that feel of just, oh God, he's going to die in a shell.
Yeah. Drown inside of it or suffocate if he doesn't cut himself out.
And he's watching the other, and you can kind of see the other guys around him fighting to get out of their things, but they can't get out of their things, and so he's pretty much watching other people die around him.
Yeah, so he's able to cut himself out. He goes and cuts Ragnar out. Smart move. Just
get him
Get
first.
the big guy.
get somebody to cover your butt.
Yeah, and I love this part. Darrow hands Ragnar the razor
And he drops it.
because it's forbidden.
Oh God, no.
Nope. Yeah,
Stop trying to trick me, Gold.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to use this. I can't touch this. It's unholy. It's sacrilegious for him to hold that.
Shut up, take it. Otherwise, we're gonna die.
Right. And I love again Pierce with the way he words things, that they emerge like shadows from the Styx, which I like because the Styx is a river of death.
Yes.
And everyone, he's lost all of his men, and it's just him and
The Styx is actually a river. It's the river of death, and if you go back to,
Is that Greek?
it's also a great 70s
my
rock
God.
band.
Oh, shoot
mama, I'm in fear for
Dante.
my life.
Dante.
you go back to Dante, and Dante describes the Styx, and he describes the Styx as basically being filled with souls.
Right.
With the souls of the dead. So emerging from the souls of the dead.
Our souls of the dead. You know that,
Where his friends are dying.
Right, exactly. Not many of them make it out. It's him and Ragnar and a few other howlers.
Yeah, and actually, I've written down a little head count quick. Got Ragnar, Darrow, Severo, Thistle, Clown, Screwface, Pebble, and 11 Obsidians.
Yeah.
That's a good call. The Howlers nicknames I just love.
Screwface,
Screwface and Clown.
And who do you think
Pebble.
named these people? Several.
And Clown's been brought up before. Clown and Thistle have been brought up before
Yep.
because they're constantly crabbing at each other.
Right.
Yep. And I have this feeling of like always I picture him as being.
I was going to say, how do you picture these guys? Because I'll tell you, I picture them all as even smaller than Severo. And I don't know it because they should be golds.
Yeah, I guess I really don't picture them as golds.
I don't picture them as golds. I picture it's like Severo is weirdly small compared to everybody else, and then I picture these guys maybe because their name's Clown and Screwface and Pebble. I picture them as these weird little runt kids.
I think Pebble
that are just running around.
They kind of were seen as the runts because they were the low drafts back in.
Right.
And I think Pebble is actually described. I think Pebble is chunky. Like she's not even like an in shape gold.
And Clown,
that's somewhere in this book. Yeah.
I always have this feeling. Clown, I always picture as the one dude from Vikings.
Oh, okay. I know.
The one crazy guy from Vikings. The guy who's the little thinny guy.
Yep. The series, right?
Yeah,
Vikings
Vikings the series.
Yeah.
Floki, not Loki.
Floki.
Yeah,
Floki.
it has the F in front of Loki.
Yeah, it's Floki. the thin guy who's
I see what you did there.
Lazy naming scheme.
The weird guy who's always got the one weird scar on his face, but he's always smiling and he's always like, I'm gonna kill you.
Is that Floker? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything else in chapter 40? That's really all I had written down.
Because
it's a lot of action.
They're all trying to survive out of the
and these all fly together, so we're
Chapter 41, Achilles.
Yeah, the Achilles heel. So what would that be?
Thistle's all butthurt about Ragnar having a razor. But Severo and Darrow don't care.
Severo and Darrow don't care.
They arm the rest of the Obsidians.
But again, remember, but it gives us a deeper look into the society that even though we're all fighting for our life here,
we're about to die
you can't touch the holy relic because you're not worthy.
Yeah. And these are, even Darrow's howlers are like upset about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's going to lose some.
Which shows you how ingrained the society is with their positions, because war is hell, and this stuff should all fall away. When you are fighting for your life, you should not be clinging to, hey, don't give the guy who can save my butt a razor because that's not his position. And that shows that this society stuff is really to the marrow with some of these people,
and the fault with it.
Yeah, exactly.
The fault or why it works. So they have to sprint through the city in order to make it in time. Mustang's going to drop the shield.
Right.
But that is totally they can't communicate because their comms were fried with the EMP.
Yeah.
If Mustang drops the shield and they haven't gotten the Sovereign yet, she's going to get away.
Right.
So they're just sprinting as fast as they can. They can barely keep up with Darrow.
Is this a reverse of Return of the Jedi?
God almighty.
So wait, are they the Empire now?
So Mustang brings down the shield generator.
Yes, I know.
From the forest moon of Mars.
Exactly. You can start your landing. The shields will be down in moments.
I don't know, fly casual.
But Darrow, long story short, Darrow sees the Sovereign and knows that he's going to lose his chance to take her down.
Right, but before that, he is the only one out of his howlers able to make it there.
So he jumped. He goes for the ship.
Because he ended up getting a set of grav boots earlier when Ragnar killed one of the golds, and he's the only one who can jump. And the rest of them are just...
We give them to Severo, and Severo lifts him up. Right. But they're fried. They don't really work. It takes way too much time just to get Darrow up.
So
he's like, screw it, I'm going. He just runs.
Yeah, he flies like Spock at Yosemite.
But I like whenever we're dealing with future tech.
Yeah,
I like malfunctioning future tech.
I love
everything doesn't always work correctly all the time. Yes, these guys were just in a fight. Something got banged up.
All I can think of is Spaceballs with their self-destruct button.
Wait, there's a cancellation button out of order.
And there's a bad word there, but I'm not going to say that because this is a family-friendly show.
Yes. Kind of.
Dungeons and Dweebs. Fun for the whole family.
Only there's a few things you'll have to explain to the kids.
No, don't explain those until they're older.
But please, by all means, download it on every single device you have.
Please. Yeah, and then delete it and download it all again.
That's a little complicated.
Darrow he finds the Sovereign, Fitchner, getting into a ship, and he's just...
And 6 Praetorians who are guarding Supreme Leader, the Sovereign. Just the Sovereign.
Man, it's the scene where he's sprinting through this docking station for all these ships, and you're like, everybody's like, they see him and it clicks to it. They're like, wait a minute. But he's gone already. He steals something off one of the
He's like
golds as he's
Superman
running.
in the old original movie. He's running past the bus just super fast. It's a blur.
God, so he barely makes it onto the ship in time.
And we're into 42 Death of a Gold.
Death of a Gold.
Which this is what we did as our opener.
I'd like to say, I want to know what his plan is here, jumping by himself,
right,
with all these people on it. I mean, don't.
This
get me
is
wrong,
where he's
it's
impulsive.
It's
He's
his passion,
impulsive.
impulsion.
Yeah.
I really hope he has a good plan here.
Yeah, he Tannis is this one. Shots fired.
Oh man, so yeah, he's aboard the ship. This was our you said this was our opener.
Right. So Darrow has this grenade. I mean, he's sitting there. He's got a thermal detonator.
Well, and this jump is completely like this is a completely Riggs from Lethal Weapon moment. I'm gonna throw myself off the building because maybe I can save the other guy and finish the plan.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But this, I love it because this grenade is just kicked out of his hands. So there went that.
Yeah, there was that, and then
it's a good idea.
Aya is on this ship.
He gets on this ship, and all the Sovereign does is get on her comm to the pilot and says, roll. Rolls the ship. Darrow's not wearing grab boots, so he just goes flying. It's awesome. Right. Awesome.
And I will say, to me, this chapter would have, if it wasn't so awesome, this chapter is so awesome by the end. But this would have been like a point where I'd have gone, oh, come on, he doesn't fight Aya.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but there's enough
they're
going on.
supposed to.
There's
but
a third book.
Yeah,
there's got to be something.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't throw it all into the book.
Exactly, and they don't. But it's all eclipsed by what happens next, right? Which is what we did in the opener. Is that Finchner? They want to kill Darrow. Like, and I love this because the Sovereign is kind of doing the whole what's the movie that I'm trying to think of?
I don't know.
Goldfinger. Or gold member.
Austin Powers?
What? Yeah. Whereas like we're just going to leave you and pretend that you don't get away. Like she's not going to do any of that. Kill you now. Like we're going to take off your head now. Throw your body out to Mars.
Wait. Somebody grab a video. Somebody grab a camcorder.
We're going to videotape this because we're going to take away what EO did. Yeah. EO is drawn everywhere, and we're going to show the picture of his death. And they don't know he's a red, but we need to put down this.
But yeah, he's also like he's a symbol of defying the Sovereign.
Right, exactly, like she was, and so we need pictures of this showing that I'm in control. And she orders Finchner because she gets kind of the wind that Finchner, you're. Maybe it's because of Severo. I think she feels like it's because, okay, you're a little soft because Severo is...
Because your kid's on the back. Your kid's one of the rebellion.
Yeah, exactly. So she's going to make him prove his loyalty by
and I think and this is going to be like the only thing like, okay, now I can trust you.
Right. And a great moment here when Finchner goes up and grabs Darrow.
Yeah.
You stupid kid. I had this under control.
And then all I have written down is...
huge reveal!
Effing F, Fitchner is Ares. That's what I've written down.
Effing F.
Did not see that coming.
My guess was wrong. I said this in the last episode where I'm like, okay, I think I got the twist ending of the book.
Right.
What I had
I forgot about this.
Yes.
What did you guess?
What I originally thought, I thought that the Archgovernor of Mars was Ares.
Oh.
And what my logic there, and like maybe I'll do my own like rip off PDF book.
Yeah.
That
which exists.
Yeah, I get. You brought
that
up. So what I was thinking was the Archgovernor planned all of this. EO, he talked to EO. EO's whole thing was, I'll sacrifice myself so you can get Darrow, so you can use him for all this stuff.
Right.
And that's where I was.
That makes sense with Mustang.
Yeah.
And then he's trying to put down his son because his son is the one that's working against him.
Yeah, and
that'd have been quite the thing.
That was my thought.
Alternate
in like
history.
Alternate history.
Yes.
Yeah. Fanfic coming to you from Dungeons and Dweebs.
That's Mars 342.
Yeah.
But I still Fitchner being Ares, awesome. I knew Ares was going to end up being a gold.
Right.
That is what I had figured out. But what else? Darrow gets he kills
Karnas.
Yes.
Karnas is down, which again, Karnas was underutilized. I feel.
I feel
good time that he was.
The only reason he wasn't henchman number 4 is because they gave him a name.
Yeah, exactly.
And going back to that underutilization that you're talking about here, Bob, because back when they're at Institute Academy, which one is it? This
Academy, book? I think Academy.
Okay.
Think Star Trek. Starfleet Academy.
Yeah. But anyway, when they're back at the Academy, at one point, Darrow's standing
with
on...
Will Wheaton.
Sorry. But Darrow's standing on the bridge, and his arm is in a sling because Karnas broke it.
Right.
So now in this scene, it's like, oh, Karnas is going to attack? This is the battle that I wanted back when he broke his arm. I want to know what he can do. And he's dead.
Yeah.
It was kind of a quick letdown for me.
Right.
A little bit. And that underutilization, yes, he was henchman number 4.
Yeah. But it's kind of, again, I feel it's weird that you set him up as this big
beast.
Big beast at the beginning of your book, and this is how he goes. He Boba Fett's at the end of this.
So now I'm thinking in Troy, there's that moment where Achilles goes and fights the one guy in the beginning.
Yeah.
They're all cheering. Oh, Achilles isn't going to stand a chance. One sword stab and done.
Yeah,
so that's now my new
Achilles moment.
And see, I actually enjoyed this because I liked the fact that Darrow can actually kill him now. The only reason Darrow hasn't killed him before was because the
chains of society were
the chains of society.
Yeah.
Now the chains of society aren't here. So yeah, I'm so much better than you. That even wounded and bleeding from the arm and naked, he just kills it.
Right. And I love this chapter too. I mean,
he doesn't just kill him.
The best, one of the best.
He doesn't just kill him. He beheads him.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if you can tell from the audio in our intro, but that's a head rolling.
I hope so. But yeah, he does. He takes a hit, a pretty bad hit.
Yeah.
Right. And then so the chapter kind of ends with
Fisher grabs him and jumps out. Or pulse fists everybody, throws a grenade, and then jumps out. I love this. And then howls like a maniac on the way down. Boy, was that a weird thing to be doing in this studio.
Thank you, Paul.
but knowing that what we know at this point, that Finchner is Severo's dad, and I like the howling. Mm-hmm. I like the howling, and I
love it. Yeah,
and I always envisioned it here as the imperfect howling. You know, it's like when your dad's trying to talk slang to you when you're a teenager.
He doesn't do it as well as Severo does it. Severo's cool. He's got kind of a cool howl.
Well, just because Klab is my picture of what Finchner was like. I'm picturing Klab sitting there trying to explain stuff to me. Just, okay, Klab, thank you.
Yeah,
I had it under control. Let's go.
Like in our D&D campaign, when you try to explain things to me, that's how I picture it.
No, I picture it's more like Klab, 4th period of a wild game.
Well, there's only 3 periods.
Hey, sports are not your spot. It's okay.
Okay, I'm not a hockey guy. Sorry.
Sports is hard.
Sports is hard. It's
okay.
a hockey game.
Overtime? That's what I was going for. Luke, hey, can we cut that?
Where do you live right now? You both have tried to claim things to be cut from this.
So, chapter 43, The Sea.
The Sea.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Darrow awakens, brought back to life.
Mustang is in Darrow's room.
Another huge time jump here.
Yeah, are they on a ship in the ocean?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's why I'm feeling like it's called The Sea. I don't know.
Sea of Stars.
Well, at times we consider space as the sea, though.
Yeah.
Because of how they talk about Navy is in space.
I took it as being...
But
I took it as being the Sea of Stars. They're the Sea of Space.
What's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
No,
you think
really
so, but it's actually the sea.
But there's so many other letters like I and O. And
Pirate on Wheel of Fortune. I'd like to buy an I.
Anyway.
Okay, what just happened? Luke, I'm blaming you for this.
Sorry.
So there's 3 listeners right there that just went, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, they just...
I'm glad they made it this long, though.
Yeah.
Until they said
They made it this long.
So,
Come back, we love you.
Rogue has managed to capture 70% of Bellona's fleet. Bellona's fleet, not Bologna.
And that's something that's been established earlier, though, that
he's being hailed as a
prodigy in space.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's a prodigy
Rogue
in
is
space.
Rogue is the space captain.
Mm-hmm. And I want that to be remembered for the next book.
Yes, I do too. Yep, make a note of it.
Yes, and I love the, even though we're not talking to him directly here, the reverence that some of the other characters have for Rogue. Mm-hmm. And for his strategy and his use of, he was that weird poet when we first met him, but darn, the guy can run a space battle.
Homeboy can fly a ship.
Yeah, exactly.
Mustang's getting him all caught up on everything.
Tells him all this. I mean, it's kind of a data dump here that Darrow kind of remembers Ares, Finchner, bringing him back. The Carvers fixing him up, and then he thinks he's off with Severo.
Cassius and Mommy are off hiding somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Which gave me a weird Game of Thrones thing when they were talking about that here.
Darrow kind of wonders, hey, how long did Severo actually know about his father?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And then we end...
Bang. bang,
with a
bangity
boot
bang,
scene.
bang, bang, bangity bang. But it's written so well. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's been, man, a book.
We have
a book
we
in
have been waiting
3/4.
for this to happen,
Yeah.
and this was the time it needed to.
Yeah.
Because what do you
Way
need?
to go, Jim and Pam.
What do you need when you wake up from a coma? I'll tell you what
food. Yeah.
Food, a cigarette, and a boot scene.
In that order?
In that order.
All right, somebody give me a burner.
Yeah, so a burner.
Isn't the burner supposed to come after the
Yeah,
boot
the
scene?
burner-
No, this is a weird order.
Yeah, exactly.
It's science fiction. Everything is out of order.
It's one of the things they lost in the transition from,
Yeah, there's no order there.
from now to that future.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, this is it's totally. It makes sense. It's not just, you know,
pandering to the.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
It's-
again, make a note of this because at this point, I'm feeling that their relationship is on track, that they are close together,
And so
they
is Daryl.
trust. I don't know. I feel they trust each other.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, so
There's gotta be.
yeah. So chapter 44, the poet. Yeah.
I wonder who that could be.
Daryl gets some well-deserved downtime.
Yeah, I love that.
Man.
I love that Roke is telling jokes, which is really. Who was the first carpenter?
Oh yeah.
Eve. She made Adam's banana stand.
Wow. I gotta.
What?
It-
It made me laugh, but what?
Well, then you
Yeah,
get Pax's
no,
brother
no.
just laughing hysterically though because of the dirty humor.
Ooh.
It
Get
feels,
off the stage.
It feels kind of odd.
Well, but I feel him just. I feel Rogue telling this joke, and just that you know.
Yeah, tell the joke. Tell the joke.
Like he's not. Who was the first carpenter?
Oh well, it's Jesus of Nazareth.
Eve. She made Adam's banana stand.
But I could see, I do like, you know, how just dumb the joke is coming from somebody who is so well read,
yeah.
and very educated.
Well, I think
Maybe that's the interesting juxtaposition of it all.
But no, actually, I think that was the point.
Yeah, exactly.
It's dudes in war.
Yeah,
and even when you have, think of every like Vietnam movie or.
I was gonna say this is like
every
World War II feeling where they're all sitting around
and
somebody's got a still going in the foxhole.
Yeah,
and somebody tells a dirty joke. Yeah,
yeah, but every war movie has the one where they call him the one guy in the unit that they call him Professor, or they call him Shakespeare, or they call him something like that.
Yeah, I like
and so
that.
him telling this joke to the other guys,
he's trying to be like the other guys.
He's trying to be like the other guys,
and it's not really working.
But the two tough guys found it hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah, and I think it's good. It is good.
And apology the fourth to Roke now.
Yeah, I was gonna
the fourth.
Dude,
3 or 4.
3 in this book, I think.
Dude, hey, I'm really sorry about everything again.
Yeah.
And just as something's about to happen, several pops in.
Oh, but for that, I do. Did you want to talk about Roke? I do love this moment with Roke, though, because he again reemphasized that he is a true friend to Daryl because he accepted.
Emphasis there was
because
using
because
very strongly in that paragraph.
I remember
because
that.
he says, "I accepted your light and your dark without any agenda because Mustang loves you and Severo and the Howlers worship you, but I see you for who you are and still accept you." You know? Yeah, I know. It's a great moment.
You too, Rogue.
And I know. And
wait, Severo's here. I gotta go though.
Yeah. So I pine for this relationship.
And you get this, and when several
it's not getting
you get
fixed.
the feeling here that Daryl and Roke are going to come to some sort of understanding. Maybe Daryl's actually going to spill his guts and explain things to Roke.
I don't
And
understand this constipation with Daryl and not being able to tell Roke what he feels.
And Severo pops up, and you just get the large sigh from Roke. You get the we'll talk later.
Yeah.
And with that, like you're saying, what's with all this constipation of it? It's he's not sure how many. Hey, his word choice.
I know.
It's
emotionally constipated.
Daryl's not sure how many of the golds he can actually trust.
I agree.
And he's so concerned
He's
that,
still a red.
well, this is one who I could consider my friend, but at the same time, earlier Severo told me there's no way that Roke would change his mind. Is that true? If I try it, will I die? If I don't, will I die? If I say it, will he trust me? He's not sure.
Right.
There's so much confusion on this thing because he's taken so long. I think, though, had he done it at the start, the very first time, and apologized,
right,
this could be a completely
And one of the
different
great...
I think if we go all the way back to Red Rising, and we go all the way back to Roke, to them essentially finding Roke bleeding, dying in the woods, when they both got brought back to health, if he would have explained the situation to Roke back in Red Rising, I think Roke would have gone along with him.
I think so.
And I think Roke...
And we wouldn't have all these apologies.
All of this other stuff that has come on about, dude, I love you, but why are you acting so freaking weird?
And then he'll be, why didn't you trust me from the beginning?
Yes.
If you would have
And it goes back to Darrow's issues with trust, though.
Right, I agree.
And that's the character flaw that he has. Some he trusts very easily, others he's not sure.
And some of the great... I mean, this book has great lines, but one that really pops out, this to me is one of those things that could be a poster, right? Friendships take minutes to make, moments to break, and years to repair. Yeah. What a great line. I hope that's Pierce Brown's line. Because in the next book we'll get into a whole speech that I thought was amazing, and I find out it's from the 1960s. But we'll get to it. I'm like,
Pierce Brown.
Yeah, I'm like, throw yourself on the machinery. Where have I heard that? Google it, you'll find out.
We find out here too that the reason several popped up now, is to explain that Harmony's dead.
Yeah.
Ooh. Or sorry, they've been captured. Harmony and the other sons of Ares have been captured by the Jackal.
Yeah.
God, I just can't trust him.
Oh, God. It's like
you shouldn't have. Not trusting Roke, but
trusting the Jackal for stuff.
His misplaced his
I feel that, though. He doesn't want to trust the Jackal, but he has to. Mm-hmm. It's just, he's got money, he's got brains. Thank you, Neil. As he has candy in his mouth. It's just, he doesn't want to do it. He has to do it though to further his plan. And then we get into chapter 45.
Yeah, the township, Attica, a southern mountain city on 7 peaks.
7 peaks.
I thought your chapter is different than mine. I have gifts for the chapter.
No, yeah, that is the title.
Oops.
But yeah, they go to Attica.
Sorry, they go.
But I'm like, wait,
sorry,
what?
Gifts.
Sorry, 45 is gifts.
Sorry, the township from Red Rising is my default chapter heading that I change every single time in my notes, and I didn't on that one. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Darrow goes to visit the Jackal.
And Victra.
Yeah.
Oh, that's because we find out this whole thing about how there's this Victor's house and Lauren's house now have this alliance after the battle.
Right, it's a big long thing. I literally have paragraphs of notes here. I'm not going to go into any of them because it's a summary of this entire weird, data dump. I shouldn't say weird. It's not weird, but I mean, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, and we find out that Victor and Antonia's mother. Only made this alliance because she got something out of it at the end.
Right. Of course.
But that's who she is, too. That was established.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, so it makes sense.
Right. So Darrow's pretty much sits by the fire.
Hey, so guys, what are we going to do next?
We find out that the Greens have been building a new suit for him, and he wants to go public with his resurrection. It's kind of a nice play. Because remember, the Jackal owns 30% of all media. Yes. At least, somewhere around there.
Which, I'm beginning to think that that's a low number.
Yeah.
That he's lowballing that 30% for what's been going on here.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, Darrow gives them gifts. I like it. It's nice. He gives Victor a bottle of petrichor scent. The smell before the rain. I don't remember what he gives the Jackal.
Did it ever get revealed? Because then there's a...
Oh, does it get interrupted?
Everything gets interrupted. He's like, you shouldn't have got me this.
Boom!
Yep.
Because the sons were wearing ghost cloaks. And hanging off the side.
A great tech. I love that tech.
But yeah, then Darrow's able to pin the whole... I love how he's able to pin the whole thing on Sun Hua for... like they moved money into her account, and then like they capture her and kill her. Right. So it seems like she got paid, she betrayed him, and ran away.
Yeah.
It's very well done. Very well done.
So we're ready.
So we believe at this point.
So we rescue the sons.
Yeah.
Harmony and the other sons get rescued. Jackal thinks that Darrow's still on his side because when they came in, like Severo actually half punched at him once.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, good play. It is very, very well done. I love his plans. They always fall together very well. Mm-hmm. And we're on to 46.
Chapter 46, Brotherhood.
Darrow goes to meet with Dancer.
Yeah, Fitchner, Severo, Dancer, and Mickey.
Yeah, hey, Mickey, you're so fun.
Dancer and Prancer and Severo and Ares.
You're so fine, you carved my mind.
And we again, we get all this history of the Reds about how a lot of them were taken from Ireland. Yes. I really like this because...
Makes sense why they're red.
Now, well, and it throws out, it changes the picture. I'd already been pretty much picturing them as more red-headed Irish people, and now it kind of is, so now I don't have to picture some sort of weird red.
A bunch of gingers living underground.
Yeah. I love that. After a radiation leak in London, it turned everything to a wasteland.
I love how
I like it because
mysterious everything that happened on Earth is.
Yeah, I do like that he keeps that a mystery.
Well, they burned the books so that they can no longer go back.
Shut up.
But this is the origin of bloody. This is why they say bloody dam, because they're from they're from the Isles, right? Mm-hmm. So I love that. Dancer, he wasn't dead.
Harmony was making her own history.
Harmony was doing her own thing, which I like it because this entire book we've been almost turned against the Sons of Ares. They are a terrorist organization. And in our current era, even when Pierce is writing this, I mean, terrorism is the, our time frames, big issue of the day.
And we're in this, and
it's our worry.
It's our worry. In real society, we have this debate going on right now.
It's our Cold War.
In the UN, we have, or with the United Nations, with the different companies around the world, corporations, and countries around the world. What defines terrorism versus what defines a freedom insurgency?
Revolution.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and which is terrorism to one person may be working for your cause for the other person.
Exactly.
Where does that debate lie? And I like that.
But it's made the Sons kind of unsavory throughout this whole book, and now it's nice to kind of find out. Well, it really wasn't the Sons. This was Harmony going off half cocked on her own.
Then we start to learn more about how and why Fitchner formed the Sons in the first place.
Right.
Yeah, and which was what we talked. We covered that.
We mentioned that.
Yeah. His wife Bryn. Severo's mother, the Golds killed her, and that's kind of what started him down this path.
Right. I do like this story. Again, we're getting a lot of little snippets of society because we really, after spending so much time in this universe, don't know a lot about sometimes that daily backstory life. Or the tech or daily life or, so kind of this whole so how does this work out if they got together and that they had to be modified and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, they actually, and what they had to do was, I think, genetic manipulation. What are you doing? A genetic manipulation had happened already. And all the carvers did was undo it.
Yeah.
Because the gold seed and the red eggs were not compatible.
Yeah, so they had to make them compatible. So Dancer and Ares tell him that now it's a given that Augustus will make Darrow his heir, and they want him to accept it when it happens.
Because that will give you that position.
You are now at the top of society.
You've risen.
Yeah. Your rise is complete. In a way, right?
Roll credits. They want Darrow to help Nero become the sovereign.
Because then they're going to assassinate.
And then once he is Nero's heir, he will become the sovereign.
Because they'll assassinate the sovereign.
And we've been really good at making it look like other people do things.
Yeah, so they'll make another society
look. We're going to make somebody else look.
Another house look like they didn't. Maybe even the Jackal, since he's been trying to build his own empire of media.
Jackal. Right? But before that, I want to take Mustang to my family home.
Okay, let's...
No.
Yeah.
Yes. I would like to, and I think that's what I need to do first.
Yeah, and everybody's going, no.
No, don't you dare. I'm still going to.
Thinking? So what are you thinking,
What are you guys thinking he's thinking? Because you have just said, Luke, and I'm in agreement with you, that he always thinks his stuff through. And I get that. Are we just going with, okay, this is all just kind of this weird love moment? Like, I am just doing this for love. She's got to know the real me before I'm 2 breaths away from this being done.
Yeah.
I
think this is stupid. So stupid. Why would you essentially blow your cover?
It is so poetic. I love it, and at the same time think it is the stupidest thing.
I'm on Severo's side during this whole thing. Well, if she betrays you, I'm going to put a bullet in her brain.
Yeah.
I'm on Severo's side. Yep, I'm right.
Which I think is good.
You know what, Darrow, do whatever Darrow, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But if it goes wrong, I'm going to shoot her.
And I think that's the only reason that this works is because Severo is there saying these things, right? Like Darrow's making a stupid choice, and because we have other characters saying exactly what's in our head.
The
Like,
murderous
you're an
Jiminy
idiot.
Cricket.
I'm going to put a bullet in her head.
Murderous Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and I looked at this going, okay, it's a dumb thing. It's a stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
But does Daryl think Daryl thinks he's going to die here? He
Right.
thinks he's going to die with all this. This is a major decision that he doesn't think he's going to live through. What does Superman do every time before he goes into a major fight? He flies back to Kansas and sits on the porch with Ma Kent for a minute.
That's true. Wow. Yeah.
That is totally where my brain went.
That's
with this.
true. Well, that's actually really good. Yeah, that's exactly.
But Superman's flying to Kansas. He's not taking a ship, and he's not meeting up with other people. He's like this.
This not noticeable.
This idea is so dumb. Like, Darrow, what are you doing?
It's
man?
a huge risk.
I don't care how much you miss your family. I don't care how much you miss Mustang.
His character flaws again. And this is one of those flaws. And going back to the whole Roke incident and stuff, he can't trust him, but...
Oh, look at this. Sorry.
But he has someone else who he wants to trust. He wants Mustang to trust him. He wants it to happen so bad, he's willing to risk it all.
But this isn't the point. But this isn't the point where you fly Lois Lane to Kansas and go, "Yeah, I'm actually a farm boy and your partner."
Can we push this then even further, and we can keep talking about whatever our feelings are?
Yeah, as it goes.
But because this, continuing along these lines, then when we get to the village, I'm left with a really odd feeling because we all talked about how Red Rising was so powerful in the beginning for us. And I don't know if this is brilliance on Pierce Brown's part or how I'm still maybe processing this. When we come back, he has now been carved. He is a gold, and he talks about how everything feels so small. And I don't want to use this term cheap or anything, but like dirty. The grass where they made love on, like almost like when we were first there, like him, we saw everything through the eyes of this, like, you know, they made love in this beautiful plush grass. And he's like, but it had weeds in it. And she was just a small willowy girl. This
is the trope. This is the you can't go home again.
Yeah, it is, and he does that perfectly. But this is being ruined for Darrow. It's also being ruined for me in some ways. And I don't mean that in a. I mean, I think it's a beautiful piece of writing. It is a beautiful piece of writing, but it's amazing how he can take something that, even for me, like Darrow, was so poignant, and make it feel so small and like, oh my God, I was foolish like Darrow to have put so much on this.
Well, maybe that's
that's what he wants. Yeah.
The issue that I had here is, yes, you're a planet under war. Yes, there are different things going on, but it always talked about in Red Rising about the tight-knit communities, and there's always kids bouncing around, and there's always people. There's nobody on the street. There's nobody here.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes, I understand that there may be something going on because of the war that's going on above.
Yeah.
But it always made it feel so close in Red Rising, and where's the little old red lady that's next door peeking out the window going, why are there golds on my street?
Yeah. I guess it's convenient for plot-wise because he doesn't have to explain himself to 30,000 people on the street. But
there's the one explanation of the dude who evidently runs the place now, who evidently runs the mine, and he just shows up and goes, no, I'm here for an inspection, I'm going to walk around where I want, and he walks out the door.
Yeah, right.
But there's nobody here.
Yeah, Magistrate Poddingus?
I know.
Podingus?
I don't know. This whole thing, this chapter was really long and just, I thought, unneeded. I thought it was really petty of Darrow to go back and do this.
Yes.
Like the chapter says, everything seems small. Yeah, all this seems small and petty and weird.
And you can't go home again, and it takes him so long to get to the steps of the house that I'm like, why is nobody seeing him?
Yeah.
And with a lot of this, one of the things that we need to remember is, who is this revolution for?
The Reds.
It's still for the Reds. Do any of these Reds know fully what is going on?
I don't think they know anything.
So what they need to, and this is me trying to defend it now, and not saying I'm for or against it right now. Just
and I'm not saying I'm even against this. I just don't know how to feel.
He's trying to go back down to show them that golds can be kind, because he's giving them this feast now.
Right.
Here's a whole feast for everyone. So now they have this image of, well, here's this gold specifically. Don't you dare start going about it like I'm doing right now. And they're showing this specific moment of him trying to be kind for the Reds, because he hasn't done that in a very, very long time right now. Yeah. Like, he's trying to go back to get his roots tied back with him, so that later, when the big reveal finally happens to the whole society, now the Reds know, wait, this is the person who he was one of us. He even came back for us. He didn't just stay up above.
Okay.
I can buy that.
I just came up with that in the past 3 minutes listening to you guys talk.
No. I do. I like that.
But-
And again, I'm not against. I don't want this to come off as I'm against these chapters, but it's changing the way I felt about everything in that first part of the book. It's now small for me, and I don't like that feeling. In some ways.
It is written well. Another thing that I'm not sure, I don't like it because it's written well is the magistrate
Podfingus.
Man, he talks.
Well, he's nervous. He's got to talk fast.
I felt like Daryl, oh my God, would you shut up? He's just going on and on and on and on, and I'm like,
yeah, right.
Oh my God, I don't care about how much you like to travel, dude. Holy crap!
Yeah. And so he's got Mustang with him, and he's walking.
Yeah,
and
why
Mustang's
we
just
sing?
walking around confused.
Yeah.
Why am I here?
Why are you so nice to these people?
And so let's segue into 49. Why we sing. He meets up with his mother, not expecting her to recognize him.
Well, and he leaves her outside. He leaves Mustang at the bottom, essentially at the bottom of the steps with a holotape.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the tapes.
Watch this. I'm gonna go upstairs. Watch this. I hope you'll follow me.
Yeah.
And I'm going, oh God, no. No,
Yeah.
no, she's not ready for this. She's not ready for this. Mustang's not ready for this yet.
And I'm sitting there, plot, twist.
Yeah.
And it turns out, no, Mustang is not ready for this.
Yeah. But I mean,
so it
even
goes
his
up-
mother. I love what his mother kind of tells him here, though.
It's an awesome scene with his mother.
And I love
very well
the feels.
Oh,
Yes.
the feels
I'm
here.
a mess. I'm a mess during this.
The
chapter.
feels behind of a mother always knows her son.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. But then even the wisdom that kind of comes from her, that it's almost like characters come into this book and kind of reset your own thoughts on where things are going. And she's like this voice of reason saying, hey, this is all these Reds have ever known.
Mm-hmm.
So you free them tomorrow. What are they going to do?
And it is also maybe she's just complacent in it, she's just accepted it,
right?
And it's you know what, maybe you're okay with this, but you know what, my nephew or niece might not be okay with this.
My grandkids.
Yeah.
What?
And I think they even say that at some point.
Yes.
It will take a couple of generations.
Yeah. This is not an overnight thing. Which again, this is realistic. This is how it would be, and it's beautifully done. But I'm very conflicted emotionally about it.
Yeah.
And then sitting on the floor because he can't fit in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's huge now. Mm-hmm. He's huge now, which is in a way this is almost a scene for me of almost from Ten Commandments where Moses goes back to visit his mother after being a prince of Egypt, and he sees the squaw, and there she is building their empire, and he's the. It was all very good, but we're going now into chapter 50, the deep, because what you said, a holotape was given to Mustang,
and there's that other spot there that it's really kind of strange that this happens near the end of that chapter. Just got to go back to it for a moment. That his mom actually never liked Io.
Yeah.
That she thought she was too manipulative.
That's very.
I kind of love that.
Being about that, I'm like,
very motherly.
That's very meta.
Yeah.
It's
but you can't ever say anything until they're gone or divorced.
Yeah. I think she's been hanged long enough that we can talk about it.
Now, and then,
but anyway,
50
so 51, Golden Sun, man, or I'm sorry, 50, the deep, man. I'm on pins and needles. What is Mustang going to do? She's gone. Yeah.
As a strange thought, I kind of was hoping that this would change entirely to a completely different story. I'll wait until we get to that moment, though.
Oh, okay.
And I'll just say, well, and again, it's just a weird hope that I thought would be interesting.
And here's Severo again. No, I placed a tracking device on her ship. We know exactly where she's going.
Yeah, love Severo. He's so realistic. I love him. Yeah. But there's a moment of peace before going back to, or Darrow goes to the mines and Mustang's waiting for him with a gun.
Yep.
Yes. And this, I'll tell you, I mean, this is written really well. I'm sitting there just on the edge of my seat. What is going to happen? What a pivotal moment. She is holding a gun to him, going to pull the trigger. Ragnar's
disembodied voice.
Yeah, gonna
shouting you out the mines.
You have 10 breaths left.
Yeah.
Just from the, again, creepy as heck, just from the dark.
Yeah, he's counting off breaths because he is going to kill Mustang in 10 breaths, right?
7.
Or whatever it is. And so there's this weird countdown clock going on. I mean,
6.
my heart is racing while reading this chapter. It is so good.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, then, sorry.
And
actually,
as Pierce Brown likes to do, we leave this chapter on a cliffhanger.
The book started going like right here. It started going so fast for me that I stopped taking notes.
Right.
oh my god, I gotta know what happens. I gotta know what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love these lines of Daryl giving Mustang yet another ultimatum. Well, the last ultimatum didn't work. I'm going to give you another one. And he drops his weapons and tells Ragnar to drop his weapons and goes, kill us then.
They kneel in front of her, right?
Yeah.
Don't they kneel and say to pull the trigger, and then
if we can't change your mind, nobody will.
Yeah, pretty much. I love you, Mustang.
Nobody's going to follow us.
If you won't follow me, nobody will. Then all of this is in vain. And I love this. And she leaves.
Yeah, she cries and flicks him off and walks away.
I don't think she flicked him off.
Throws
I don't want
crux.
that in my mind because that would cheapen the moment.
Yeah.
She leaves like a bar floozy.
See, and here's where the moment where I was kind of open for a completely different book to change
Okay,
things
so what
around
did you
entirely.
want to
So
have
this is
happen?
just, it'll probably be a fan fiction that someone did. Mustang shoots him. And then we go into a completely different book where it's Mustang is the lead character. I thought that'd have been interesting.
It would have been interesting.
Who's somehow pregnant with his child.
Yes. From that one time that they had something. Yes.
Well, from
See?
the one booth
Someone.
scene, yeah.
Fanfic.
Yeah, no.
Well, I'm
I
sure
thought
it's
that'd be
out there.
interesting. It probably is.
Yeah.
And
Rule 34.
no, not that type.
Well, and we're here, guys. The final chapter, 51, Golden Sun. Oh my God! This
Are you guys?
Roll credits and let's get out of here before we time.
Are you guys Game of Thrones fans?
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
Are you
The Red Ceremony?
Are you
I prefer the term wedding.
Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman movie fans?
Yeah.
So
There's
Darrow
so
is
many
being
things.
christened,
He's being
as a
christened.
hero by Augustus.
He's in here. He's going to be anointed the heir of Augustus.
Yep.
I do like, and it's painting this really like oh man, these golds and their freaking like ceremonies and traditions. It's like it takes all day. They're sitting there listening to a white talk.
Yep.
Like,
And you know what?
I
I thought that the first half of this chapter, this is a long chapter.
It's very long.
Yeah. And I thought the first half of this chapter, I got bored. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is the last chapter.
A little bit.
There's
and
a
I'm
lot
bored.
of...
I'm bored. And all of a sudden this box.
setting you up for the calm.
In fact, because I never.
Changing your
What's in
opinion.
the box?
You're sitting there waiting. Just,
What's in the
this
box?
Is terrible. This
I
is
never-
boring. And then
I never even went back because I even haven't written in my notes. As I'm like, Roke is to present Darrow with a gift of some sort of something in
It's
an
a
ivory
mask.
box, and I don't remember what it's supposed to be. Something to do with gold traditions.
Yeah.
That's how little I was starting to pay attention.
No, he gets the.
Oh yeah, he's already got that.
He gets the Caesar leaves. I don't know.
laurel?
But he's supposed to get a mask.
That's right.
It's a mask that like it's designed especially for him, and it's just part of their tradition.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh hey, you're big, you're important. Nero Augustus formally asks him to be his new son.
Yeah.
And then now this is the point. I'm gonna keep this in mind the entire time I'm reading Morningstar. It's whenever a plan is laid out in these books, that's when a twist happens.
Okay, because
it's
then
like,
you as
okay,
a reader
yeah,
know what's going on.
You, the reader, feel comfortable. Like, okay, this is where this is gonna go. Nope.
Yeah, right.
He's about to be, he's about to be crowned. He's about to be knighted as the heir. Roke comes up to him and just Brutuses the hell out of him.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Good call.
It is.
Yeah,
it is
Brutus.
And he actually calls him a traitor.
Yeah.
Traitor!
I mean, Roke has turned.
And stabs him with a poison needle.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Called
Yeah,
that.
same thing that he did to him. And I didn't get the feeling here from Roke that he was even conflicted about this.
No, Roke now.
It was
he knows
not
he's a red.
anymore.
Because you know what? I feel like he's piled every. He's like, I don't know why.
I like the not anymore.
I don't know why you don't trust me. I don't know why you don't trust me. I don't.
Oh,
You're
that's
a red. That's why.
That's why. You've done this. You did this to me. You hurt me because of this.
You've been manipulating me this whole time. You've never been my true friend, I think is what he thinks. You know?
We were brothers, Anakin!
We were brothers, Anakin!
Oh my god.
This is how you do that, by the way, George Lucas.
Yes, this is how you do that scene.
You were to bring balance to the golds, not destroy them!
So wait, Roku's Obi-Wan?
No, yeah, this is how you do that. But this is how
the poet.
This is how you do the brothers scene.
This is how you do it. Yeah, George Lucas, take note.
Yeah, this is how you do the brothers scene. Gets him in the neck, and I mean, Darrow just goes
present
down.
Qui-Gon Jinn's head in a box. No,
Darrow goes down and is just watching.
Yeah.
Is just watching now as Victra gets murdered.
He's locked up. Like,
And I love this
poison.
because I can almost feel if this was a movie, all sound would kind of go out in a way. It'd be slow motion, and everything goes to hell. Everything that you thought was getting built up is you're like, okay, for the next book, I don't know what Darrow has left. Everything is destroyed.
Aya comes in, Cassius comes in, smirks at him.
Yeah.
Antonia comes in.
Antonia
shoots her own half-sister.
You know what? I forgot.
Lilith the Jackal's chick from the Institute comes in. They're all disguised.
I forgot
People
how
are
much I
dying
hated
everywhere.
Antonia.
Yeah.
Man.
And the Jackal...
Lorne dies.
The Jackal kills Lorne.
Yeah. Right.
Comes back to Augustus, has this great moment with the Jackal, with Augustus, with his father, going, this is who you thought was worthy.
Yeah.
This is who you thought was worthy over me. Guess what? I killed my brother.
Yeah.
I had my brother murdered because you liked him better. This is who you wanted over me, you SOB.
And Augustus tells him that he is not his son. And that
You're no son of mine!
And I should have smothered you in the crib when you were a babe! And he shoots him.
But Aya's like, no, you can't do this. And he's like, I don't care. Boof.
Boom!
Takes
Shoots
him.
Augustus! I'm like, oh my god. Yeah.
Cassius leans over Darrow here as Darrow is immobilized and whispers in his ear about, you killed my brother and that was one thing, but you killed my cousins and you killed my children.
Yeah.
You now I have my revenge on you.
Right.
And so the two people throughout Red Rising and Into Golden Sun here that Darrow most loved and was most conflicted by betraying and by doing all these things. These are the two people coming up to him, whispering to him in his state now, going, now you die.
Yeah. I mean, it is utter darkness. What an abyss. I mean, you have
very Red Wedding.
Yeah, you have stripped Darrow of everybody in his life.
And Darrow's all confused because Cassius started talking about kids.
But that's what we're saying. Mustang's gone.
Mustang, Severo, Ragnar.
They're
all safe.
somewhere. Yeah.
Mustang's only safe because he ticked her off.
Yeah. But I mean, like, they're gone. They're not with him.
Yeah, true.
I'm
going to hunt down every member of the other houses and I'm going to kill them.
Yeah.
And it's your fault.
Okay, Arya Stark.
And you killed children.
Yeah.
And Cassius keeps bringing up these children, and Darrow's got no idea what he's
What
talking
is he?
about.
Yeah, and I have no idea as a reader. What is he talking about?
And so they pick him up.
Well, the Victra just crawls to him and just touches him, and then she expires. It's like, I never realized how much I liked Victra until she was gone.
she's
Like,
gone.
oh no, I liked you.
Yeah,
come back.
And we have the moment where they open the box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? God, Luke, it has been so hard because you hadn't finished the book.
That was the last one.
Luke finished last.
Yeah,
we kept yelling, "What's in the box?" He didn't know what we were talking about.
And we just no, we can't tell him. And in the box is Fitchner's head.
Man.
I will say I went full 7 here. When all this started happening, I figured Mustang's head was going to be
Oh my god. I might have thrown the book. But
Yeah. I went full the movie 7 here, where Brad Pitt's at the end and he opens the box and it's his wife's head.
Oh my god.
So I've completely figured it was going to be Mustang's head in here. It's Fitchner's head.
I mean, if I got to pick somebody, I wouldn't have put Mustang in there. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
And and right as he's passing out, right as everybody's telling him that everybody you love will die, we get this quick moment of, because I'm sitting here going, how is there a third book?
I know.
How is there a third book here? And then we get this quick blurb at the very end of the chapter here of, No, the Sovereign wants him technically alive so we can dissect him and figure out how they
And you're like,
did
oh, okay,
this.
so he's alive. He'll stay alive. And you have Ragnar, and you have Mustang and Severo. I mean, they might be the sparks that will start a new rebellion. Sorry, no.
The 25 people left. But and the one thing that I want to go back to from the last episode is I mentioned this back in chapter 8. There was a great foreshadowing moment where the Jackal said, "I'm going to present you Ares' head by beheading him myself." And what's in this box? Fitchner's head. Now, further references here. We have no eyes in Fitchner's head, and his mouth is stuffed with grapes. We find earlier that that's what Augustus had done earlier. Had gone and thrown grapes into a head. It was another governorship of Mars.
Yeah.
And when he took it over, they left the head stuffed with grapes as well.
Oh,
there's so many things that the Jackal
good.
is pulling all over the place.
That's
And this is
cool.
a nice touch to everything.
Didn't Octavia do that when she killed her father too?
Probably.
I don't
It seems like something Octavia would do.
Yeah.
It was definitely what Augustus did when
he took over.
Whoever in his family took over Mars from that other family whose name I can't remember because they're irrelevant.
It was Augustus though.
Yeah. Oh, it was Nero. Okay.
And we get to the end here, and I want to ask you guys this.
Yeah.
Is this because did Mustang betray him?
That's what
I have no idea.
There's part of me that thought that could be it. Yeah.
Did Mustang betray him, or was he found out some other way?
Oh no! It the Jackal says something about how it wasn't Attica. That's when he figured it out.
But I guess as a reader,
we don't know what it was, but he says it's something about Attica.
As a reader, though, there's part of me that thought, yeah, Mustang could have betrayed. I mean, I think that's what we're led to believe.
I don't
because
see
she
her
leaves.
talking to her brother about that type of stuff.
No,
That's the other part.
Yeah.
Well,
but this will be brought up kind of in a way in the next book. This whole
I don't think I ever suspected Mustang.
I did not.
No, I didn't either.
But I think for me, it's still left up in the air.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it has.
We as readers, I think, are not supposed to know how to feel about Mustang.
Is it? Did
and
the
where
Jackal
really,
just
because
figure
he'll
it out?
play on
Did
this in the next book.
Yeah. Did the Jackal figure it out? Did Roke figure it out? Did Octavia figure it out? Did Mustang bring the tape and go, oh my God, what do I do?
Yeah, right.
Did she drop the tape somewhere?
Yeah, I'm going to blow the lid open on this story.
Oh.
Yeah, was somebody bugging her?
Oh.
Yeah, right. I mean, we don't know.
Actually, where my brain was until the Jackal said something about Attica was that Darrow screwed up by going home. And that was like something about that tipped somebody off.
Right.
Because
which is what you think.
When you're that famous, when you're Darrow,
You can't be-
Andromedus,
and you walk into the mines. Yeah.
like people just look at you and go, oh, you're the guy. Like,
Yeah.
you can't do that,
can't.
dude.
No, I agree. Yeah, dumb move, and I'm thinking as well, he's paying for that move.
Yeah, hey, at any rate, as long as we're closing this out, why don't we give our final thoughts, give a rating out of 5 on Book 2 of the Red Rising trilogy, Golden Sun. So, Neil, your final thoughts, please.
All right. So now, thinking about it, when I first read through these books, there was something that happened. I read through Book 1 very quick. Something happened between Book 2 and Book 3 that made it more of a slog for some reason, especially when it came to Book 3 that we'll talk about later. Reading through Golden Sun the second time makes me like it a lot more. Had you asked me this a year ago when we first read this would have been a 3 out of 5. But now, this time reading through it, even though there are some things that I talked about with time problems, training problems, no spies, enough happened in that second part to make up for it, to go with a nice 4 periods out of 5 hockey periods. Great.
That's awesome.
Even though I know that there are only 3, it is a 4 out of 5, counting those double overtimes. Klab, what are your thoughts?
Hey, kids.
Here we go.
Your old Uncle Klab.
This is not Uncle Merrill.
An infomercial.
Golden Sun for me was a lot of ups and downs. Like I said, I felt like there were almost 2 authors in a lot of places here because the action scenes were written so well. Most of the exposition scenes and the talking scenes were written so well. I loved the scenes with Lorne at home, but it got a little long. I enjoyed, the scene with Mom having tea on the floor broke my heart. And actually, I reserve I reserve 4s and 5s for a lot of things that have completely blown my mind. I am going to give this one a 3.75 cups of tea with Mom, because I keep going back to that scene, and that scene broke my heart. And Pierce, you wrote that extremely well once you finally got there. The head in the box at the end was beautiful. The head in the box at the end totally blew my mind, and I didn't know where we were going. I'm looking forward to the third book. I'm actually having a little trouble getting into the third book right now.
Spoilers.
But yeah, 3.5, having cups of tea with Mom on the floor. Luke, where are you at, my tattooed friend?
Stained, thank you. Sorry. So, really, I brought this up earlier, that this book struggles. It suffers. And really, I want to dive into what I mean about that. This book immediately suffers because it came after Red Rising. It's going to live in the shadow of that first book. And I think that it comes down to, Pierce Brown had more time to write Red Rising than he did Golden Sun. But this book, it suffers in a good way. It suffers because everything else is just so good. This book, the slower scenes suffer because the action scenes are so good. Its pieces on their own are awesome, but it's just, when you have those amazing action scenes next to those slower parts are going to seem lesser, and they're not. All this being said, there were parts of the book where my mind wandered. There are parts of the book where I couldn't put it down, and I was up late and I was tired at work the next day because of it, just like Red Rising. But for all that complaining, I had a lot of fun when I was reading this book. I would recommend it to anybody who, hey, I read Red Rising, should I go on to Golden Sun? Yes, absolutely. Every time I picked it up, I had a hard time putting it down, so with all of that said, I'm going to have to give this 4.1 Scorcher Blasts to the back out of 5. Bob, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to keep mine fairly short because I think you pretty much said, all of you guys have said both my positives and my negatives for this book. I feel that this book is as high as the first one. Red Rising was just a light speed trek. I besides the few things I referenced in the first podcast of this series that I thought were detractions, I thought it was a near perfect novel. I think this one barely deviates from that, with the exception of, like I said, I think that this novel is about 80 to 100 pages too long. It starts off amazing, it ends amazing, and there's this kind of middle slog part that, for me, I don't know what I'd cut. Everything is needed character development. I think everything is written wonderfully. It just has some sort of slow down feel to it. But for all that, man, such wonderful parts are in this that I can't give it any lower for me than a 4.5 blue navigational implants showing the direction towards the next novel. I don't know. 4.5. Yeah, I'm going to rate it as high as the last novel. I think they're on a par, just two different reasons why.
Okay. Mine was still the same as the last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're holding steady. It's still holding steady.
Definitely.
Anyway,
Spoilers, book 3 won't be for me.
Wow. Well, what makes me nervous about book 3, and I'm reading it, but it is longer yet than Golden Sun. And
rumor has it,
according to Amazon, the newest book to come out is like 700 some pages. So he's starting to Stephen King these novels, Brent.
Oh, Pierce.
Where they're getting longer and longer, and I'm hearing that it's about kind of, a lot of politics stuff. So I'm worried. There's a bit of me that's a little nervous.
Pierce Brown, you write action so well.
Yep.
Please do not give me an entire book of Senate scenes.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Keep them lean. You got to keep these things lean, fast and quick.
Keep it lean. Keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Again, like we've talked about before, this keeps being lumped in with teen novels. And this keeps being lumped in.
Man, after this one,
Golden Sun is beyond that already. They're in their mid-20s.
But when you look on Amazon, this keeps being lumped in with Maze Runner and Hunger Games. And
if you like
this is not. And
it
Pierce,
is not.
No, Pierce, you got to talk to your marketing. You got to talk to these people because this is not. This is an adult novel. Yes, it's a coming-of-age novel. Yes, it's a rebellion novel. But this is not a teen novel. This is a novel where right now, with this entire series, you have 2 guys in their 20s and 2 guys beating down the door of 40 who have gotten in here and love talking about this for, what are we at, 4 hours now?
Yeah, right.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm crazy.
So yeah, get on that, Pierce.
Because I get it. When you're first trying to get a novel published, you're going to go with whatever marketing. I mean, I just want to get known as an author. But now that you've established yourself, I think you've got the ability, and a movie maybe on the way, and in development, and comic books, you've got the ability to kind of say, no, let's market this the way I want this marketed. I don't know, maybe he wants it marketed as a young adult, but I feel that will hamper you. It hamstrings you where it doesn't have legitimacy going forward. People will be like, oh, it's a young adult novel.
Looking at, the screenplay of this.
Yeah.
You can't.
This better be an R.
This. I could maybe see a hard
PG-13 for the first
PG-13.
one. Yeah.
But you have to be in that hard PG-13 to R rating.
Where people are a little up in arms about it being PG-13.
It's an R. I can hear Severo and Fitchner swearing the whole way through. There's no way I can see R.
In order to do the book justice, please do not let anybody Disney-fy this thing.
He won't, I don't think, have the ability to, because the studios have control of that thing.
But hey, we...
now that we're talking movies and trying to direct
and trying
Pierce
to get
Brown's
back to Tavern Talk somehow.
now that the wheels are coming off.
Yeah.
Hey, we have got another book to get to.
Yes.
We've got an entire another book to get to. We got an entire another year to get to.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff coming up.
We are right on the doorstep of
2018.
Yeah.
And again, by all means, those of you who are following with us on this journey, those of you who have been with us from the beginning, or if you just showed up for Pierce Brown, or if you just showed up and said, hey, let's listen to episode 2 for Golden Sun. Thank you for being here. We miss you. We love you. By all means, talk to us on Facebook. Talk to us on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello to all of our new page likes on Facebook. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Bob, you whip up some crazy Photoshop job and they just come breaking down the door.
Yeah, it's been wildly successful for the last 2 days that it's been up as of recording time. But yeah, there's lots of likes. It has been shared out all over the place, but the comments not necessarily coming in. I know there's lots of people out there. I mean, according to downloads, we've got a few hundreds of you that are listening, but we're not really hearing any responses from you. So don't be shy.
So I think we're just not ticking anybody off yet.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, it feels like if there's vitriol to be had, then we get responses. But
we'd love to hear from our international listeners as well.
Oh my gosh,
we have so many listeners in Australia, in Russia, and Malaysia now.
Ireland came online. We've got listeners there. We've got Holland and Denmark and Sweden and Germany.
If nothing else, folks,
is this real life?
Or is this just a fantasy?
Caught in a landslide.
So no escape from reality.
Okay, you guys.
Okay, the wheels.
The wheels have come off. Hey, hit us up on Facebook. Hit us up on Twitter at Luke
at Dweebs.
Excellent. Dungeons and Dweebs
on the Facebook.
On the Facebook.
Facebook is the place, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Instant message us.
Even if, you know what, we're a little corny. Even if you just want to drop in and say hi from Ireland, hi from Germany, by all means, say hi. We love your love. We want to give you some back. Keep it up. Hopefully you'll be with us for the next installment that will be coming in the new year, which will be, Bob.
Ooh, do androids dream of electric sheep?
Well, even before that, we have to do the third book.
Morningstar. But if you're here with us on this one, you know that one's coming. Yes. And we are going to try to. We keep saying this, but it's the holidays and you guys know. So I know, hang in there with us. But it is awfully difficult to get these things out in any kind of timely fashion.
And if there's any sponsors out there that want to jump on here and start paying us to do this. Our calendar will get so much better if we don't have to have like real jobs in life.
True.
If there's that much
Hey,
of a
Pierce
sponsor
Brown,
for
you need consultants on that movie or anything?
Or even some extras. I don't
We'll
know.
bring in some heavies. We'll make sure Paramount or whatever keeps it a hard R.
At any rate, I hear I got some communication from the bridge. The FTL drives are spooled up and ready to make our final jump.
Ooh,
All right, I'll stick my fingers into some gel.
I tell you what, I'm going to grab one for the road, and I might grab her for the road as well.
All right, here you go. Let's get out of here.
Please make sure you have a happy and safe holidays or whatever sort of type of thing you celebrate, and join us on the road next time. Lady, you want to meet with me or Klab, the old guy?
Oh, she likes the old guy. Thank you for listening to this episode of Dungeons and Dweebs. There's even more adventuring to be had on our website, dungeonsanddweebs.com. We would love to hear from you. You can email us at dungeonsanddweebspodcast@gmail.com. You can also find Dungeons and Dweebs on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Find all those links at dungeonsanddweebs.com. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please help spread the word by leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes. The music for Dungeons & Dweebs is Fatal Fight by Royalty Free Kings and can be found at their website, royaltyfreekings.com. Dungeons & Dweebs is a Tim Gilbert media production. Copyright 2017, all rights reserved. And no part of the show can be reproduced, repurposed, or redistributed without the expressed written permission of Tim Gilbert Media.